I'm so thirsty. We should start the show.
I feel the minutes count down on the clock again. Feel like I'm playing in a game that I can never win. Time is running out, I know I gotta make a choice. So many whispers in my ear that I can't hear my voice. Tell me, will it end the situation that I'm in? Or am I bound to sit alone, drowning in my sins? Get right or get left, what will it be? Time is running out, the blood is flowing down the streets. People need to know we're living in the war.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Boot Bros Podcast. I'm your host, Resident Darrell, and tonight I have my main man, Joe. How you doing?
What's up, everyone? We are mere days away from Legend of Zelda Nuts and Bolts, and I'm excited.
Gross. All right. Also, we have from the Nintendo Driftcast, our gaming gal, Kalai.
Yeah, he obviously didn't finish the episode.
I didn't. I told you that. I said I made it about 40 minutes into it, and you guys, when you got to the lot lizard, is about where I stopped.
Well,
and the fact that okay, there's a handful of things. I have this real bad tendency of listening to a podcast and wanting to commentate like as I'm listening to it. I do this with the Trivia Wars a lot.
Oh, I do with what's his face? Kind of funny a lot.
I'll do. And I want to message them as I'm reading, as I'm hearing things. I'm like, wait a second. And there was a couple times where Zach needed a good firm stand down because I'm like,
he was stand down.
Yeah, I'm saying he needed a good firm one because I'm like, wait a second. First off, Buc-ee's is the GOAT. Second off, I was like, he was getting awful testy on some silly stuff.
Listen, it's where you go to get your fuckies.
And then the thing is, not knowing what a lot lizard is, that's not an age thing, man. That's just that's a life experience thing.
But wait, you didn't get to the end of the episode. At the end of the episode, I freaking said, "Thank you for listening to Gamecast." I don't know.
She gets game stuff.
Yeah, game stuff, and they caught it, which made it even fun. It was
maybe it's time to bring game stuff back.
No, we don't own that copyright. That's why we do Driftcast. That's
so awesome. All right. Well, we also have our ever prominent fifth chair. We got Crawdaddy, Crawdaddy Thomas. How you doing, brother?
It is T Diddy.
Dude, I had this whole big plan of doing all this friggin' Star Wars stuff, and I was gonna like make fun of Star Wars a lot, do a whole bunch of Star Trek stuff, and then I watched the most depressing and yet sincere and amazing interview with Phil Spencer, and it completely changed my entire headspace on what I wanted to do today. And I completely went into this forgetting that it's Star Wars Day. So may the 4th be with you all.
Oh, thank you.
You as well.
I want to believe. For those of you guys listening, I just held up the Star Trek sign and then gave you.
Live long and prosper, yeah.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
There you go. Yes.
I'm a
was a communist.
I'm a hardcore
Isn't that crazy?
Never mind.
Oh, you're a damn Trekkie? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. Trekkie, man. That's life. Data for life, baby.
I know. We're back to that. What do they say every time you interrupt me, Joe? Do you smell what Kalai is cooking?
There you go. You got to do something. You got to lay the smack down.
So Kalai, I want to ask you a question though about Star Trek. Do you guys prefer to be called Trekkies or Trekkers?
Trekkies. Did you watch Ted Lasso?
No, and it's because my wife. So my wife hasn't had time to watch it. So my wife hasn't had time to sit down and watch it with me. So I can't watch it without her. So I'm just waiting.
Okay, we can't. Do you watch it, Thomas?
No, but I'm a huge original Star Trek fan. I've always wanted to be Captain Kirk. Because you get to go to a different planet, cause chaos, because remember, it's like 5 or 6 episodes where everything was fine. It was this utopia, and these guys just show up out of nowhere. Kirk has sex with somebody and then F's everything up and destroys everything. It's like, well, now you're free. Yeah, now we don't have anything, asshole. But at least you got laid. So let's go on to the next planet.
Basically. Yep. I was a Next Generation Star Trek fan, so very much enjoyed it.
If you get Paramount Plus, you should watch Picard.
Picard was amazing.
Skip season 2, just 1 and 3. 2 was dog crap, but 1 and 3 are good. I would also like to say the one thing about Next Generation is the holodeck, because like think of all like the porno scenarios you can make in that holodeck.
Well, I was thinking about playing, PlayStation on the holodeck, but I mean, hey, I guess to each his own. All right, so guys, this is the part of the show where we get together and we celebrate our Patreon producers. Feels I have not been here in so long. It feels kind of weird. Also, my complete space is different and my desk is set up differently, so I'm not like comfortable. I'm not in my element yet, so I got to kind of stretch my legs a little bit. But we want to give a major, huge shout out to My Name is Effing Mayo, MZ Effing Nitro, Sadik, and Matt G. Matt G, I'll have you know the first episode of Attack on Titan will be reviewed by the time you hear this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to treat Attack on Titan the same way I treated The Last of Us. So instead of doing a one and done deep dive for the month, I'm going to do an episode for the deep dive for every single episode of Attack on Titan. So I can explain to you guys in great detail week after week two things. Look into the camera. A, Bella Ramsey is fugly. And B, anime is for pervs.
Oh man, we need to toast that Gran Turismo trailer, man.
I haven't seen it yet. I heard it was good.
Oh, dude, it was so good. They made me a believer.
I want to believe. All right, I just resituated my mic, so hopefully this won't be weird and awkward. All right, guys, so it has been a little while since we've all been together, and there's a handful of things we need to take care of in the way of housekeeping before we get into what we're playing. So as far as housekeeping goes, guys, check out all the socials, check out the YouTubes. The Loot Bros YouTube's growing a little bit. We don't do video on there, even the weeks that we actually record the video, we don't edit and post the video. But it is starting to tick up a little bit, starting to get a little bit more in the comments on there. So definitely appreciate you guys who listen to the show on YouTube. I want to give a shout out to everybody who has followed me and subscribed to my personal YouTube, Resident Darrell. We broke 300 subscribers this week, which is not a ton, but it just was like one of those things where I sat at $2.99 for almost 2 full weeks. I would go to $2.99 and it was like up $2.98, $2.99, $2.98, $2.99, and just kind of teetered there for almost 2 full weeks. So we broke over. I was at 307 last time I looked. But so appreciate you guys so much for all the support. Thank you all for all the comments and all the feedback. And I had a really, really cool idea, and it's probably something that you're going to listen to this and go, "Oh man, why did you do that to begin with?" But if you guys have ever watched any of the videos I do, anytime I put up an eBay comp for something that I may make some money off of, I always have like a little coin sound play where you're like throwing change on like your table or something. And someone wrote into me the other day. They were like, "Hey, if I could give any feedback at all, because I really like what you're doing." They're like, "Is if you could turn the coin sound down some," which is actually a little bit offensive to me, not because it needed to be turned down and I can't take constructive criticism, but that I didn't notice that myself, that it's too loud. As someone who really enjoys doing audio editing, the fact that I missed that feels like a personal failure. But I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then it dawned on me. I was like, why am I doing coins? Why am I not doing trophy pops?
I liked the coin sound effect, honestly. I did like it. I thought it was a little charming.
Well, I mean, hey, I appreciate that. But I was just thinking to myself, like, that's kind of a missed opportunity to not pop a trophy every time there's something, and then I was thinking maybe even for like something big or something that's like, oh, wow, I didn't expect to be this much value in it. Have the new platinum sound that pops.
Oh my God, that's so gorgeous, that sound.
Isn't it wild how soothing? I was actually like, no, I'm not going to like this change. And then it pops. And I'm like, you know what? I love this. I heard the beep. Somebody's PlayStation beep. So
wait. No. I'm sorry. I'm putting a heating pad on my knee because apparently a couple of weeks ago from standing too much, I had a severe muscle spasm and I couldn't walk again. So like, I'm still trying to recover. I'm still back into, I was supposed to stop therapy. I was so excited. I was getting my Monday night and my Tuesday night back. Nope. I'm back in therapy. My therapy is ramping up. So like, I'm in pain today because I was at my office. So sorry.
And you could have just said, "Yeah, I just turned my PlayStation on." That would have been a much cooler explanation.
No, as a hardcore video gamer, I've been sitting here for 45 minutes playing PlayStation because 2 of our co-hosts didn't show up on time.
Wasn't me, not it.
Sorry, I was eating dinner with my family.
Yeah, I was too. But anyways, Joe, you're about to say something really cool?
Yeah, dude, you need to get the merchant in there somehow. The merchant from Resident Evil.
Oh, dude, that's a really good, again, missed opportunity. Why didn't I think about that? That's like, a great idea.
What you buying?
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Yeah, like I think you should do what are you selling every time you walk up to a different guy.
Oh, I should just start saying it. So that's pretty awesome. So so definitely thank you guys so much for the support. Thanks for all of the subscribing and the feedback and all that good stuff and the great comments. And I want to give a special shout out to Duplex. He and I have been talking back and forth about game collecting, and he said that he has been watching the videos and he's very inspired to start hunting and finding video games again. And if he hunts and finds video games the way he completes games and gets platinums, this dude is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm super excited to see the kind of stuff that Duplex picks up. So that being said, if you are not a part of our Loot Bros Patreon, go check out the Patreon. You can get involved for as little as $1. And this week for the Super Loot Bros podcast, I launched a new show. And this is something I've been kind of kicking around for a little while. Since I end up doing so many solo shows anyways, I was like, man, I kind of just need a little bit of format to it. Like something that's like, boom, this is a segment, this is a segment, this is a segment. And that way I can always pull from something and have places to insert feedback and questions and things of that nature. So if you guys have not yet, go check out the Patreon. You can check out the new digs for as low as $1. And I would love some feedback. I'd love to know what you think. I've already gotten a handful of write-ins about it, and I've gotten some positive feedback, so I really appreciate that. But I'd love for you guys to check it out. Let me know what you think. And then hopefully next time I do it, I'll have some really cool sound bites put in there because I have some great ideas, but unfortunately with my workload this week, I wasn't able to incorporate it just yet. So that being said, Thomas, why don't you start us off with what you've been playing?
Sir, I have been playing my usual enemies, which would be Ghost of Tsushima. It would be Hogwarts Legacy. It would be the Disney Dreamlight because my 5-year-old demands that I play that in Disney Infinity. And of course, I added Jedi Survivor this week. And unlike PC users, mine plays perfectly fine. I would also like to say and give a huge shout out to everyone who has a PC that has to suffer through the things that are going on, and of course to all my friends who are Xbox and Xbox subscribers to the Game Pass. It's a sad day. We'll get more into this later on, but I have so many things to say about what we're going to talk about with Xbox, and of course, as always, and it is a wonderful day because it is Star Wars Day. Let me say that the Force is with us all. And that we're going to do so many Star Wars, at least I will do so many Star Wars references, it's not even going to be funny, especially when talking about the Xbox and their demise and how they feel about themselves. And it's not very pretty.
No, it's really not. It's not. As a matter of fact, I had this big plan to play a little soundbite. It was Dave Chappelle when he was talking about, I smell your lightsaber. I don't know if you guys remember the swapping spouses episode he did. If you don't, go look it up. It's good stuff.
I know that episode. I love that episode. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. You think you hard? He's talking to the little boy and he takes him to the ghetto and like, tell him I said, bye. I'm glad I'm the hell up out of here.
I love it. All right. So you've been playing some Disney Dreamlight. I got a question about that one.
Absolutely.
Does it have trophies?
Yes, it does. But a lot of those trophies are kind of difficult to get because basically it's just a farming simulator or just like
Darrell's out.
I mean, seriously, it's all it is. And then it adds all this little extra stuff to it. So you have to put time into it. I think I got like half, if not most of everything. I did all the quests, but it's just a time consumer. Like I got 129 hours in it on the PlayStation, and then for the Xbox, I think I got like 200 something hours. Now most of that's my kid playing, so I'm probably asleep. No, not all the time because she'll waste my moon money, and I need my moon. No, man. The moon money is very important because whenever they have like their new, because see, this is what they do because they didn't give you a complete game. They gave you basically a less than half game, and then every couple of months they add like more to the game. And so like if you have this moon money, you can buy extra clothes or buy extra things like to get extra characters outfits or new things for it. And it's the biggest bait and switch because as soon as you start Disney Dreamlight Valley, it has Belle and it has your character and Wally on it. Belle is nowhere to be found in the game, by the way. Neither is the Beast. Neither one of them have showed up in the game. Now, there's a ton of other Disney characters, but there's no... And then there's not even Daisy. So you get Donald, but you don't get his girlfriend. You get Mickey. You finally get his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, Minnie, and like, what is it? 2 or 3 downloads. And then... I don't know, man. It was a super bare bone game, and they made you pay like $60 for it. And then they gradually started adding more and more stuff. And then my child spends my moon money, so I have to spend like 5 to 10, because it's like, oh, you can get this moon money to buy extra stuff and all these things that are unnecessary. Because I basically mined and crafted. I actually have 4 secret rooms in that house.
Wait. Did you spend real money on moon money?
Yes, because my child spent all my moon money. So I
had Joe, shit crystals are back.
He just fell victim to shit crystals, people.
So well, I did it because I wanted her to have a couple. She wanted 2 outfits. She wanted the Mickey outfit and she wanted the Donald outfit, and I needed to get those in order to get the points. In order to do the goals in the game, I had to do that because they were under platinum stats, and that's the only reason why I did it. I wouldn't have did it for any other reasons. But what I have in her house is I have 2 secret rooms that are hidden that I put like fireplaces or something over them, and that's where I keep I have all these treasure chests that has all these materials, all the stuff, like everything that she needs for the game. If she's playing it, if I'm not playing it, she has everything she needs. She doesn't even have to go like spend hours upon hours of trying to mine or dig or do anything. All she has to do is just go and make whatever they have to make. But she sometimes still does the things. She doesn't know that she can just go there, because I mean, literally, if you would see my game and see how much like back stock I have for that game, it's hilarious. And if she ever finds out, she'll be pissed that I have all, because she would just go and sell it because she thinks dude, I got her $10 million in the game from selling pumpkins. If you're going to play that game, you want to make money, harvest nothing but pumpkins. Seriously, nothing but pumpkins. Dude, you don't understand. I don't even play the game anymore. I just go in every day to do like the daily thing that you get from, who Kristoff is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kristoff, after you do so many of his quests, he opens up a shop. And so by opening up his shop, he has different stuff every day. So every day, like I could buy some bars of gold. I can buy bars of silver. I can buy yarn. I could buy fabric to make like, different outfits and stuff. And so every day he has something. I go there, and same thing with Scrooge McDuck's store. If you go to Scrooge McDuck stores, your character can buy new clothes all the time at the Scrooge McDuck store. And so I am wasting way too much time talking about my little girl's game because I spend way too much time on it.
Sounds like it's all about her game. Just her, not you.
It is.
Back in my day, Scrooge McDuck had a cane that he jumped on to take out villains, and now his pansy ass is selling shit. No. He needs to get back out in those jungles.
There you go.
All he does is sell stuff, man. And then check this out. Scrooge McDuck is such a Scrooge. Like for the whole people, for anybody, no one's who's played Dreamlight Valley. Anytime someone moves to the to like they move from like the actual like their little world to your world to Dreamlight Village, Scrooge McDuck says, "Oh, go set it up," and then you have to pay Scrooge McDuck in order for him to have people build it. So in other words, everything that's in that valley is built by Scrooge McDuck's company. So all he does is get rich the whole time, and screws everybody over that lives there. So basically, he's some evil warlord that is like, oh, you buy my stuff. I'm like, dude, you're charging way too much money. It's like Moana's shop. If you played it and you know about Moana's little area with the fish, dude, he charges so much money to get, and it's like basically it's Moana just catching fish, so you don't have to spend all this time catching fish. You just go to it and you grab the fish. It's like every hour, there's like 20 fish that you can get, or every couple of hours, it's like 20 fish. But yes, I have spent so much time in this game. I can tell you anything about Dreamlight Valley. I'm like a specialist of Dreamlight Valley, and that is sad and pretty
pathetic. Platinum. Get that platinum, bro. Make your daughter proud.
It's her game. I'm just living in it.
Aren't we all? All right, Kalai, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Kingdoms of Amalur still. I've been playing that on the Steam Deck, which has been really nice to play while I'm watching TV with Jim. I've been really enjoying doing like the quests. I'm like 40 hours into the game and I'm like, okay, all right, I got to go do the main quest. I really got to get this game done. So I'm working on the main quest and I'm like, oh, look, shiny. There's another quest. And off I go to do another quest. I've been having fun with that. I played a little bit of Fire Emblem, the new one. We actually had to go clothes shopping to Jim likes Duluth. I like Duluth, so it was like a 45-minute ride, so I made him drive so I could play video games. And I've been playing Scarlet Nexus. That game's a lot of fun. I think you would really like it. And I'm coming through all right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, because I'm not seeing any spike on Zencaster.
Yeah,
so
no, it's all good. You're good.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Sorry.
So how far, like how many hours did you put into Scarlet Nexus?
Not a lot. I mean, I played maybe like, I want to say chapter 5.
All right. It's way too much fucking talking for me. Like the cutscenes just are like, it's like playing Metal Gear Solid with anime titties.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a lot of story. But it also has some of the same elements that like Fire Emblem does, where you can give things to people, make your bond stronger, which I like a lot. I've also been playing Marvel Snap, a little bit of that, and Slay the Spire. So, pretty much the usuals right now. What about you, Joe?
I'm playing a bunch of stuff. Currently, as we record, I am playing Final Fantasy Crisis Core for PS5.
Nice.
This game is really good. I had a PS Vita, but I really didn't play much, or not PS Vita. I had a PSP. And I bought it for this game and Grand Theft Auto. But Grand Theft Auto took so goddamn long to come out, if you remember, Darrell, like from when the launch was.
Oh, yeah.
And it was announced for launch, so it was like, it took forever for it to come out. So this was like the first real big game I played on it. So I think this came out at launch, didn't it? Or like very close to launch, like a week after, maybe. It was in the launch window. Like this came out very close to launch, Crisis Core. And the game is amazing, and it's even better on the PS5. They actually did a really... What happened?
I said, that's what I hear. I hear it's really good.
It's really good. So they did a really good job at like upping the graphics and like redoing the whole game pretty much, but keeping like the simplicity of what made the game like a portable game, which was like really quick missions and then you move on. And the roulette style of like leveling up and like doing all your like attacks and stuff is a really cool concept that I wish they would like make another game. So like if they made another, like if they brought Zack back in like the Final Fantasy remake, I would love his mechanics to work like Crisis Core. Like I would like his mechanics to be Crisis Core, not the way like Cloud controls and the rest of the party controls. Because I think it would be really cool to go back to that style of play. The game's great though. I'm playing it right now. I'm about chapter 5, so I think I'm about, I don't know if I'm like midway. It's not a long game from what I've heard. The missions are really like the meat and potatoes of it. So you got to beat all these like, it's kind of like VR missions, right, Darrell? If I'm like not mistaken, they kind of plays like VR mission game where.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's
like
been
you get the main,
long.
Yeah, you get like these main missions, but then you also get these like VR missions. So it's a really enjoyable game though. I'm digging it. I'm trying to really concentrate on one PS5 game at a time. Especially since I don't have any other like internal or external memory in my PS5. So like I'm stuck with what I have stock, and I have too much shit on my PS5 and I can't play anything else until I beat something on it. So kind of dedicated myself to the cause right now.
Okay, how much memory do you have in your PS5?
Just what's stock. So what's it, a terabyte? And it's not even a terabyte. It's like
it's like 500 gigs, which is nothing.
Roughly,
is it 500 gigs? So
I think it's like 700, but still,
no. I mean, it's almost about 500. I think it's 632 or something.
Yeah,
like
it's something weird.
So if you have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that's almost 100. It's almost 100 and something, and that's crazy. I have 2 terabytes added to mine. And I just had to delete 4 different games. And then I was thinking of getting the 4 terabytes, but I was like, that's almost $400. And by the time I buy them, it's $400. Watch that son of a gun go on sale for freaking $200, like it did when I bought the 2 terabytes for $400 and something. So that
was it hard to install?
Oh, it's the most simplest thing to install. That was so easy. The one from my friend was very hard to install because it was the official one. And I installed it 3 different times. It didn't work. I think it was just someone else's bad copy, or like they had a bad drive, and Best Buy repackaged it. Sorry to bag on Best Buy, but I had got another one from my friend, installed his, and it took no more than 5 seconds to let's say 5 minutes to install. Easy peasy. But they need to get an 8 terabyte, man. And then if you ask Google, like you do a voice chat to Google, like how many can you have terabytes for your 8 terabytes for your PlayStation 5 or 8 terabytes? It says, and I'm kidding you not. It'll say, well, you could have that eventually, but why would you need it? That would be excessive. Hey, F you, Google. I need 8 terabytes because I own a lot of freaking games, dude. I'm an actual gamer, okay? I own like every effing gamer under the sun just about that's worth a damn. And then I buy everything when it's on sale because I'm a cheap ass. And I may never play it, but it's on sale. So in case I want to play it, it's there for me. And I need those 8 gigs so I don't have to take things off and on or do cloud streaming gaming. I want it right then and there when I want to play it rather than like waiting for something to buffer. That's like back when, I'm an old person, so I had dial-up internet. That's or like it's almost like having like Skinemax back in the day when it was a scrambled channel and you're like waiting to see a boob or something. It drive you insane, man.
Those dang lot lizards and their freaking scruffy cable.
By the way, you keep saying lot. I thought they're lap lizards. LAP.
No, lop lizards.
No, lot lizards.
Lop. LOP.
Or lot. Yeah, lot lizards.
Like parking lot lizards, or like kind of like a barfly,
Oh.
Yeah, when he said that, that made me laugh. I was like, I haven't heard anybody call it a lot lizard in a long time.
But it's one of those things, man, where I really hate that Google said that. Like, oh, you don't need that much memory. Okay, then I guess your AI doesn't need all the RAM and programming that it has either. Let's see how smart it's going to be without it.
I feel like that's a rant for your show, man.
There you go. How dare you? Hey, check it out. You were talking about memory earlier. It jogged a memory of mine. I have a 2 terabyte like external hard drive on my PS5.
I didn't know you could put. I thought you could only put external on for PS4 games, not PS5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can put it on there, you just can't play them. But like I just leave my PS4 stuff on there, and then I just kind of manage what PS5 games I have specifically based on what I'm currently playing. And then once I have everything downloaded, I've got everything sorted, I then go play my PS3.
So I have a 4 terabyte attached to my PS5, but that's all PS4. And that's actually full now too, which tells me I need to start playing some games.
Dude, you need to pony up and get an 8 terabyte. Once you get that 8 terabyte, it's much easier.
I beat them all.
Really? I have seen no reviews. So is there any proof?
Except for one. Yeah. The proof
That's literally half of it.
Listen, Darrell,
You know what? It's time for another good old fashioned stand down. As a matter of fact, Joe, you said something on the last episode. You're pulling old Tricky Mick and you're pouting. And you're like, I don't want to play Backlog Beatdown. I don't like new rules. Them rules is not fair. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to poop in people's cereals. What the freak is that all about? Literally, the only thing different is we have a list. Everything else is the same. This last year. And the only reason you didn't get to contribute to the list because you were MIA for 6 weeks.
I don't like the list because I don't like that it encourages going back and playing things you've already beaten because they're on a list. The point of the backlog beatdown is beat games you've never beaten, not rebeat things you've beaten already just because you're going to get points for it.
But not everything on that list have you beaten.
I beat a ton of it.
Show your work.
Okay, I will.
Show your work on them pledge games too. Why you got it?
Darrell.
Where's my tape measure at? Let's do this.
I want to say about it is what the original intent of the backlog beatdown was. We did not expect to get that kind of reception, especially
I agree.
It's transitioning, guys. It's changing with the times. It's 2023. It used to be one thing. Now it identifies as something completely different. It's okay.
Oh my God.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
I was totally going.
Nothing to see here.
Thank you for finishing my entire sentence. I don't really need to talk because now Darrell's cut me off. Now Joe's cut me off.
How dare you? Sorry. It's been a little while, guys. I'm new. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my hands. Anyways, all of this came because Joe was talking about his memory problems. So, Joe, continue what you were playing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
So, as a PC player, what do you guys do when you run out of memory? Do you switch out your hard drives? I have 1 million hard drives in my system, so I never run out of space.
No, you can't do that because if you switch one hard drive out with another one, you risk damaging the hard drive.
And deleting your saves.
Yeah,
no,
you can't
even
just
your
do that.
external.
Yes. Yeah, you cannot. You're not. Once you plug an external into something, you can't use it for anything else, one. And two, if you unplug it and plug it back in, there's risk that it won't read it.
It does this
or
weird
you can
thing.
Damage the ports.
It does. Yeah, well, that's definitely true because I just had our PS5 repaired for damaged ports. But it does this weird thing too on where it creates a little icon to say, hey, this is in your library. And then when you remove the external hard drive, and then you put it back on there, it doesn't always want to register. Sometimes you have to delete the games and reinstall them, especially if they become free for plus. Because then it wants to do some weird thing where it's you don't have a license to this. But I'm like, mother freaker, I own it physical, digital, and on plus.
Doesn't do that anymore.
I just did it to me. I just did it this week. My PS5 that is down here right now was just in my bedroom, and I unattached and attached.
And it saw some shit.
No, it sure did. That thing was facing the bed and saw me and the wife knocking boots without the boots. But no, it did this weird thing with Doom 2016 where it was you don't have a license to this game. And I'm like, bruh, come on, bruh. Who you talking to?
Bruh,
I thought they fixed that.
You're like, wow.
This is stupid. I don't know. So I got an external hard drive that whenever I hook it up in between the Xbox One and the other Xbox One that I just got rid of not too long ago, it would do the same thing. It wouldn't register my games. I'm like, bro, it's an Xbox One to an Xbox One. It's my profile to my profile. It's being stupid. So,
well, it's that's the thing I like about Nintendo. The only thing I like about their memory system is it's so easy. It's just micro SD card. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, but if you plug it from one switch to another, it doesn't register. Because I just did that because I just got another switch.
Yeah,
but
you have to wipe.
But that's because it's anything. Anything you plug a hard drive into anything or a memory card into anything, it doesn't register.
That's not true.
It's tied to the user.
You remember the PS1, Joe? Those memory cards? PS2?
Those are friggin' memory cards. It's different. It's not the same type of memory card. You're storing a game. You're not storing a game save. You're not supposed to take it from one to the other. The Switch is designed so the whole design of the I think one of the coolest things of the Switch, which nobody really talks about, is that you could take your Switch to your friend's house and just plop your Switch in their dock, and you can just play all your games at their house. Like
so
no one really ever.
You're into docking.
I love docking my Switch. I was a dock virgin for what 2.5 years, Kalai? I don't think
it
I ever
was a
docked
very
my
long
Switch.
time.
It was a super long time. I refused. I said this is a handheld device.
And some games you still don't dock, right?
No, I don't. I don't dock for a few games.
No, I only use it as a entertainment system. I have seldom. I think I maybe used it once. Has like taken it somewhere, and it's just because I'm afraid, like somebody will say, "Hey, can I see your system?" When I had originally got the original PSP, it was the original Vita. And when I originally got the original Vita, someone wanted to see it, and this clown dropped it, dude. I thought I was going to whip this dude's ass.
Dude,
oh my god!
I didn't like him. I didn't like him anyway. So it was one of those things where it's like you just gave me a reason to whip your ass. And
dude, I got a similar story. Whenever me and my buddy Marcus, we stood outside of Best Buy in line and we bought the PSP bundles. Right, it came with the memory card and then the little demo disc or whatever of like all the music videos and stuff. Dude, his freaking stepmom came over to the house. And we were showing him off, and she freaking was like, "Oh, can I see it?" And I was showing her the crossfade music video on there, and this fool dropped my $300 brand new PSP right in front of me. I almost died.
Yeah,
freaking lot lizard.
1 second, Clyde. I mean, Darrell. Do you remember the coolest accessory that the PSP ever had, which was that little pouch that it came in? That little like it was like kind of like this this fabric pouch. It was like black, and you just slip the PSP.
Yeah,
it's the greatest single pouch device made for any system. Do you know I found a company that made them for the 3DS, and I bought one?
Really?
Yes, it is
That's dope.
Single best thing I've ever put my 3DS in.
I've got one for the Vita, and I've got two for the Vita actually, and I have one for my PSP Go.
My God, they're amazing! It's like a fucking PSP condom.
Look at this. Speaking of condoms, you're gonna need one when you see these.
I saw what you got that for. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Bayonetta 3, man.
Dude, Bayonetta 3 sealed. I haven't opened it yet because I haven't played part 2 yet, which I don't own yet. And then freaking Dying Light Premium Edition for $15.
Have you watched the anime for Bayonetta?
I don't watch anime yet.
It's amazing.
You should watch the anime for Bayonetta. It's really good.
Where can I watch said show of cartoon implications?
That one you got to buy.
Dang it.
Unfortunately. Or
no, not unfortunate. Supports. You got to support that. You got to support your developers.
That's right. Hey, speaking of...
it's been out long enough. Just you torrent it.
Speaking of supporting developers, Joe, have you played anything else?
Yeah. And remember, Capcom's not a developer.
My favorite line from Tricky Mick.
Oh, my God. Oh, one of the best ever. Hold on, let me check. Oh, I played a lot of because we're gearing up for Zelda in 9 days? 8 days, Kalai? 8 days?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a week. Yeah.
That's so it's $70.
$100 for 2 games. I'll take it. I'll take my free game. I'll take my other second game for $30. I'll probably get Bayonetta 2, honestly, because I never played it. So
dude, I want that game so bad.
What, Bayonetta 2?
Yeah, I don't have it, and I've never played it.
So you should probably buy Bayonetta 2, get a voucher, buy Bayonetta 2, and then just find another game that you want.
He's gonna want to play it on. Is it on PlayStation?
No, I gotta play it on. I gotta play it on Stinky Switch.
So Nintendo paid for the development of that game because no one else wanted to. Everyone passed. They gave everyone first priority, and they were like, "No, no one wants a Bayonetta 2." And Nintendo's like, "We want it. We'll take it over here on the fucking shitty Wii."
The stinky Wii U.
I'm surprised that Xbox didn't get it because Xbox was the only one that ran Bayonetta at 60 frames per second, or was it 30 frames, and then everybody else ran it at a lower quality. But only Xbox ran it at the fastest quality.
It was so. I played that game on Xbox and beat it there. It was so good. It runs like
butter.
It ran like Dookie on PlayStation.
It's like butter on Xbox. That's where I originally played it and beat it too. And I beat the shit out of that game. I think I was like, I didn't beat it on the highest difficulty, but I beat the second highest difficulty, and then on the highest difficulty, it wasn't even that hard. I just was tired of playing the game at that point because that's when you get the moon amulet, and you can stop time and you could just beat the shit out of the game because it's like so like those games like Capcom does a really good job of like rewarding you for replaying.
You do realize those guys are the original DMC guys. Those are the original Devils May Cry guys.
I know that.
That's left. Okay.
Yes, they made Platinum. Yes, they left and made Platinum. That was the whole point of leaving, is they want to continue making games in the style that they want to. Capcom said, fuck you. They're like, okay, well, we can't take our property with us. We'll just create a new one. So they created Bayonetta, which I'm happy they created Bayonetta. But I think Capcom and Platinum need to find a way to fuck and like put those two characters together in a game. Because like I want that. I want like a Dante
would kill her, dude.
Bayonetta crossover. I need it. I need it now. Or I want a game, just a spin-off game based on like Trish.
What if her and Dante had a baby and the baby had its own game? It would be like Devils May Baya.
Babies May Cry?
Yeah, Babies May Cry, yeah.
Or Baby May Cry?
Baby. No, if they did something like that now, you know, Bayonetta would use her hair and turn into Barry-netta.
Barry-netta. Don't open that door.
You got anything else, Joe?
I played a fuck.
Sorry. There's the name of the show.
You're almost or Harry Netta.
Oh,
you're almost a Jill sandwich.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Best lines ever.
It's so great. Anyway, I played a lot of Breath of the Wild and Kalai. I think that anybody that hasn't really given that game a shot should really just go in that game completely blind. Don't look up on guides how to play it or beat it, and just immerse yourself in the world, and you will play the greatest Zelda game ever made. It just really is.
Did you used to hate that game?
What?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, yes, I did, and I gave it one final chance, and I'm absolutely in love with it. There's a few things that can be done better, but I feel like the new game is going to fix those. So,
yeah, and how many times did I tell you it's so good? You're wrong, Joe.
I am wrong, Kalai. I sit corrected on my floor.
How dare you?
How dare you? Yeah, but I've beaten 14 shrines so far. I've gotten 1.5 containers.
How many nuts you got?
Those Koroxes, those shit pellets.
Yeah.
I have 30 of them, I think. I found a lot of them already. Not a lot, because there's 999 of them.
Are you using the amiibos?
No, what do they do?
Oh, it's really cool. They actually just rain stuff that you need, like just stuff that you normally like, food and weapons. So
can it rain weapons? Does it rain fucking weapons?
Yes.
It's raining men.
What kind of weapons? Does it rain like ancient swords? Because that's what I want. I want
all types of ancient swords. You'll also get ancient spears. You'll also get like ancient technology to get like better stuff from the stores. You also get money. The Ganon one gives you money. The one with the big robot gives you all the ancient gears. The different Zeldas. There's 3 Zeldas, like 3 different links that give you good ancient swords, and you can actually get the best sword in the game every now and then to drop. You can also get like the different shields, and it gives you all the different armors from like Wind Waker, from every different Zelda. It'll drop the armors, and you can only use them once a day, but you can use them every day. Once a day. Now, I myself have made NPC cards or whatever they are? What are they called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought them online. I bought them to play Hyrule Warriors. I needed them.
Yeah, I bought them from Amazon, from a dude made them on Amazon, and I have the cards. They're actually downstairs. My little girl's been using them for same game you're playing, and she has so much gear, dude. She has like almost like 200 and like each individual food. She has she has a ton of fish, of all the different fish. She has like everything you can need for that game. And so whenever she's actually old enough to understand what she's doing, rather than just roaming around. Oh, and it also gives you Irulan, or what's the horse's name? Irulan, right?
Oh yeah.
So it also gives you the horse Irulan, which is the best horse in the game.
If you use the Bayonetta amiibo, her hair will come out and it'll give Link a dinghy.
Jesus God.
That one's for Smash Brothers, by the way, which is basically you can use her to practice with.
That's right, with the hairy ding. All right, so what else you got, Joe?
Jeez, I don't know if I can top that.
All right,
did I play anything else this week? I'm trying to think. I played Sackboy's Big Adventure with Corey. That is one of the best platformers on PS5, period. And there's only like 3 platformers, so I would say it's probably the second best one out of all the platformers on the system. First being Crash Bandicoot 5 or 4, because that game's absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't played it, go play it. I played more Gotham Knights. I'm about to capture Oswald Cobblepot.
It's the best 7 I've ever played.
I would say it's a good 7. I wouldn't say it's the best 7 I've ever played. I mean, I played a lot of 7s in my life. This one.
Do you think of R. Kelly when you're playing Gotham City?
No, I don't think of the City of Justice, City of Love, City of Peace.
I think about the drip, drip, drip. I'm gonna pee on it.
Trapped in the closet. Oh lordy.
I'm out of the closet.
Oh lordy. No.
Now I'm back in the closet.
Put Gotham back in the closet. This shit needs to go back in for a few more hours to cook. It's a decent game. It's got good controls. I don't like how they changed the mechanics of the way you fight in that game. I just don't like you messed up what was so good about the Batman game, which was the reversal and parry system, and I don't like how they execute it in this game at all. It's a pain in the fucking ass.
It's weird because it's almost like they did it different to be different.
Yes,
but it wasn't different enough. It was like the Diet Coke of different.
Just let me press triangle to block attacks and then just stream a combo. I don't want to do all this fucking dancing. And Batgirl plays awesome. She plays the closest.
She does. She was my main.
Mine too. I haven't really checked any other guys out because I don't give a shit. Like,
so there's levels where it's really beneficial, in my opinion, to use Red Hood. And if you're going to go for the platinum, which I don't know that I recommend, because it's like I'm like 67 hours in and I still got like 5 trophies left, all collectibles. So everything else is done. But like you need to do the Nightfall stuff for every, or night, whatever the Knighthood stuff is for every character or whatever. So some of that objective stuff is like, go and clear out so many owl's nests with each character and fight this many of whatever's. But I don't know, man. That junk is, I really enjoy that game. And that is like one of the best podcast games. Like,
yeah, they said that and kind of funny. They were like, oh yeah, it's an amazing podcast game.
Well, they need to get off my jock. That was my line, not theirs. So,
I'm sure they're stealing your material.
I mean, they are definitely stealing my material. 100%. So, all right. Anything else, Joe?
No, that's pretty much it. I really didn't play much. I've been trying to stay true to a few games.
It's like 11 games.
Make some progress. No, it was like 4 this week. Usually it's like 11.
So yeah, I put in about 70 hours of gaming. I didn't really play that much this week. It's all good.
No, it was. Honestly, I would say I put about 10 into Breath of the Wild, about 3 into Final Fantasy, and about an hour into the other games a piece. Not a crazy amount of time this week.
All right. You guys ready for a real list? Because I ain't got one, but I'm sure I can find one somewhere on the internet, or someone played some real games. So, all right. We are still rocking and rolling with the GTTSC trophy hunting contest. Myself, Redbeard Rick, and Gareth Davis, representing Team Loot Bros, laying the smackdown on all these little jabronis out there with their little baby trophies. So definitely having a really good time with it. I have been playing. I'm just going to kind of call out some of the stuff I've popped some trophies in just in the past few days. I have been cleaning up my trophy list for SmackDown versus Raw 2011. Now, there are 3 trophies that are, 4 including the platinum, that are unattainable because the servers are shut down. But I've been chipping away at some of like the really grindy trophies, like the 1004 finishers and signature moves, the man of 1,000 holds.
Oh god, I have that on 360. That was
I do too. I 100% it on 360, and I can't 100% on PS3 because I missed the window for the online stuff. But since we've been talking, I got the trophy for winning Money in the Bank with a creative character and cashing it in for the championship. And then I got the trophy for beating 50 matches with a pinning combination.
Those are a pain in the ass, yeah.
They really are. And there's some of them are buggy because I did way more than 50. But basically what I've been doing the entire 50 plus minutes we've been talking is I've been doing finishers and signatures to Edge just over and over
again, yeah.
and over. I mean, I'm just sitting here and just like suplex, finisher, suplex, spear.
What have you done on the new game so far? Like,
I haven't touched the new game. I didn't really play 22 that much. I've been playing the old stuff.
The new one's really good.
They're just not like they're fun. Don't get me wrong. 20 was fine. 22 was good. I didn't touch 23 yet. I've been going and been playing 07 and 11. That's where my heart's been. I just been playing the crap out. I mean, when we were in the mountains the other week, my kids and we brought the PS3 and we brought 2011 and we played wrestling forever. Like just, we stayed up late playing some wrestling matches, having a good time with it. My youngest,
awesome.
Oh, dude, my youngest has been loving it. He's been begging me to watch wrestling with him. Like, he's hooked right now. So we just, we're watching the pay-per-view Saturday night together. So
the Puerto Rico one right. Saturday, right?
That's right. Backlash. So 2011 is one of my favorites. I have been playing, and I've almost got the platinum trophy in Madden NFL 2013 on the PS Vita.
Nice. That's a rare one. I don't think a lot of people got that one.
No, it looks like it's a 5.33 rare trophy, or it might even be ultra rare. I think it's under 5 is ultra rare, so maybe that's just very rare. But I had this, so we've been eating out a lot. I know you guys know a little bit of it, and the audience knows a little bit of it. But my house has been under renovation for several weeks, and so our kitchen was out of commission for a few weeks. So we've been going out to eat a bunch, and blew my diet out of the water. Since that pipe busted in my house, dude, I kid you not, I'm 21 pounds heavier.
Oh, shit.
Dude, yeah. We just been eating out and eating whatever. So, that being said, the house is back in order. The office has been put back together. We've got the refrigerator and stove, all the things you have to live, PlayStations, all that good stuff. And, but since we've been eating out so much, I've been watching football, watching hockey, watching UFC, stuff like that, a lot, just sitting in the restaurants. And I'm like, man, you know what? It's probably been 10 years since I played. I think maybe it was longer than that. It was probably 2007, 2008 was the last time I played like a football game. Like I played NCAA 2007, 2008. By the time those came out on the Xbox 360. About the same time around when Gears of War came out, the first one, whenever that was. So I was like, man, I'm due for a good football game. So because we've been doing this trophy contest and I haven't necessarily had access to all of my stuff, I was like, well, I've got 2013 on the Vita. And I looked up the trophies. I'm like, these seem pretty doable. No online stuff. So I can just figure the rest of it out. And so that's what I've been doing at night. I sat till 2:00 in the morning last night playing, and I just been having a good time. I totally souped up the Green Bay Packers, and I've just been laying it down on the freaking Rams, dude. I went in there and modified their guys to be really crappy. So some of the really meticulous trophies where you gotta do certain things like running back a bunch of touchdowns or freaking getting stuff in overtime and stuff like that. I just been trouncing these guys. But the first couple of days, I was just playing normal matches and having a good time. So I have 25 out of 30 trophies. So I should have that platinum by this weekend. Pretty excited about that one. Been playing some Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I don't know if you guys ever played that. That's the Nickelodeon Smash Bros. That came out with no voice acting in the very beginning. It came out super bare bones.
Yep, I have bought it, yeah.
So I have that game, and I quite enjoy it. I don't like Smash games. I don't like Smash clones. But whenever I have to play one of those games, I like the ones that are a little bit easier to figure out. I really like multiverses for that same reason. And so far, the game's been pretty good. But this is what I was doing. And this one is where I'm going to issue my, stand down to Kalai for the week. Okay, so all of you guys got one. Kalai was on the podcast the other day saying all kinds of tomfoolery about the PlayStation Remote Play. Now, I know that I don't typically use remote play a whole bunch, but I have used it, especially with the PS5. And I'm like, you know what? It's been pretty good. And of course, streaming with their streaming service has been really good too. But because Kalai had said a bunch of inflammatory things that Jimmy Ryan would not appreciate, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm really going to test out streaming. Okay. So here's what I did this week. I streamed. I've got the Razer Kishi right here. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I streamed my PS5 to my phone on the Razer Kishi, playing Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl.
Now, let me ask you this: did you stream? Were you in the house or out of the house?
I'm about to explain all of it in great detail.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Please.
No, you're good. You're good. So I used my Razer Kishi and then streamed that to my phone. Okay, that was on the same floor inside the house. Okay, but my PS5 is hooked up wireless. Nothing is hardwired right now. I haven't got that far. Everything's just up and functioning. My son's PS5 was down in the basement, the floor below me, and I streamed his PS5 on my alternate account, the Comic Cast Darrell, to my iPad. Okay. Now, what I did was I streamed this game so I could get online with myself and I could self-boost. There's trophies for winning 50 matches or playing 50 online matches or playing 50. You have to beat someone who's ranked over you in rank 5 times, and you got to win 50 matches online. All this stupid bull crap. Yeah. So basically, I just got in there. The servers were dead because I was just going to get on there and get what I could get, just losing to people because I'm trash at the game. And I was like, man, these servers are dead. There's no one on. I'll get on with myself. And so while I was going through my compliance modules where I have to sit down and read all this stupid crap, I had my iPad beside me and I was operating through touchscreen, one controller or one screen. And then through my phone hooked up through the Kishi, I was, making sure that I was rematching myself constantly. And I had probably, about 4-hour session of streaming. That's also with using the computer, in my room.
See, now I'm annoyed, and we've had this conversation before. I cannot for the life of me stream my PS5 in a house that has a super good network because we do a whole bunch of shit. Yet you cannot stream the Xbox. It is the weirdest
Isn't that weird?
thing.
It's weird, yeah. So, but that was the reason when you had said that, I was like, you know what? I need to probably test it a little bit more, But sure enough, like using my computer, watching video modules, doing all this stuff. Again, Wi-Fi. Everything was done through Wi-Fi. Nothing was hardwired. And if you guys look behind me, all right, you can see I've got these two 55-inch TVs over here. I had one of them streaming Batman vs. Superman or something like that. Some bullcrap. My favorite stuff. Bad flick for the win. So what I'm saying is I put strain on my internet, and maybe twice I saw a little bit of lag, but like it was pretty freaking smooth. And again, that's remote play streaming. It uses the internet to stream it all through the PlayStation.
Maybe it was the game because I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima was just too much.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I was playing Nickelodeon.
No game should be too much though to stream.
Well,
you're streaming from a server. It's from a server console. It shouldn't be that intensive to stream something.
So I've played. It's when I played. What was that? High on Life. I streamed that one from xCloud for a little while, and it started off really good. Then it got really bad. But then I also did that Bloody Roots game or whatever, where you're that wolf creature going through, and it's like a hack and slash or whatever on Game Pass. And I streamed that one near seamlessly at my my drummer's studio one day. It just sometimes it works good, sometimes it doesn't, and that goes for both platforms. So what I can say though is I put it to the test for about a 4-hour straight session, and I was able to get 10 of the 25 trophies for that game. So I felt pretty good about that one. Outside of that, I got the platinum in Hot Shots Golf 2 on the PS4 and the PS5 versions. Super, super annoying. The Albatross trophy, where you have to get a hole in 2 on a par 5, took me about 6 hours per game, roughly, just every night after my wife went to bed, just an hour or two, just swinging, listening to podcasts and swinging, listening to podcasts and swinging. So super, super frustrating, but the game's amazing. I absolutely love Hot Shots Golf. I love playing this game. So those old PS1 games with trophy support makes my little heart flutter. outside of that, I've been playing a little bit of Dangerous Golf. That was made by the old Burnout team. They started off with our little indie studio years and years ago. Dangerous Golf, it's pretty fun. It's not something I like to play long term. You know, like playing golf and smacking a ball inside a room and breaking a whole bunch of stuff is pretty cool. Again, that's a good podcast game. You don't really need any audio for it. So if you got a good show you're listening to and you just want to break some stuff in slow motion, that's a fun one. So, and then the last thing I will talk about will be Jackbox Party Pack. No, Jackbox. I'm sorry. Lego Ninjago. I've been playing all the Jackbox games with my wife and kids. But Lego Ninjago, the Nindroids on the PS Vita, that is another one that I'm pretty close to platinuming. I think I'm about 60% through, 70% through all the missions and cleanup and stuff after beating the game. This was another one that I played in the mountains. We needed, for our trophy contest for the GTTSC, we needed like 20 trophies in like Minecraft style building, brick breaking, Lego-ish games or whatever. And so I was able to knock out 23 of those 38-ish trophies or whatever that week while I was in the mountains. And I've been kind of chipping away at that one. Each week we get different objectives to do for the solo and for the team. So like sometimes I have to play a completely different game. Sometimes it's sports games. Sometimes it's, Lego style games. Sometimes like this week's objective is we have like for our bonuses, we have to like end with the number 4 in our trophies for the week, whether it's 4 trophies, 14 trophies, 44 trophies, 440 trophies. We have to have the number 4 in there to get the bonus, all 3 teammates. And we have to get 20 trophies with a game, since it's Star Wars week and Star Wars Day, specifically today. We have to get 20 trophies in games that have the word Star or War in the title. So been kind of chipping away at those. So that's why I've been playing All Stars, that Nickelodeon game, trying to get them trophies. So that's me. It's a bunch of stuff, and I've played a ton more than that since the last time I was on the show. But it's a lot of cool stuff, man. I've been dabbling with and playing a crap ton of Vita. You guys, I always play the Vita, but I've been wearing the Vita out lately. Like it's ridiculous. My wife's like, "Give that thing a rest, babe." So
I think she said the Vita as well.
Yeah, got him. So, all right. Well, since Kalai is hanging out in the back with Jim, we're going to go ahead and slide over into, I think she's pointing at us and laughing. She's making fun of us. We're going to slide into our community questions. Joe, you ready to rock and roll and answer some fun questions?
I love community questions. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Wait, guys, I just want to say, Jim was like, I came to see what you're doing because I know the podcast is over. I was like, oh, no. It's not over because jabroni number 1 came late because he was having dinner with his wife, and jabroni number 2 was coming late because he was having dinner with his wife.
Yeah, a bunch of freaking jerks, I tell you.
So, sorry about that. Go on.
No, all good. We will make it quick. How about that? So,
that's what she said.
Whoa, and she would never lie. Okay, so this week for community questions, I threw it out there. We're going to be making fun of Xbox, and we're going to be making fun of Star Wars. Now, whether we actually make fun of any of that stuff is, completely, whatever. But I did throw it out there, and I did say, hey, guys, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. But the meme that I posted made me really laugh. Okay. And it says when you give them free will and they collect Switch games and they have like the sad face in the sky, coming up from the sun. But I got to looking around, guys, and I've been collecting the crap out of some Switch games. I went from having next to none to like 40 none. So I've been buying a bunch of Switch games lately, and I don't even play the Switch. But our good friend over at the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Will, writes in. He says, I got a question, and I'm asking this based on the assumption that you guys have all seen the film. If you had to be a peripheral character, not Luke, Han, Leia, Boba Fett, etc., from Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi, who would it be?
Repeat the question one more time.
All right, so if you had to be just a random character in the group at Jabba's palace from Return of the Jedi, can't be one of the mainstays, can't be one of the main Star Wars characters, who would you be, Thomas?
can I be Lando Calrissian because he really wasn't one of the main characters?
He's definitely one of the main characters.
I mean, didn't he shoot first?
No, that was Han.
I would tell you the person I'd want to be would be the guy who was in the background whenever like Leia, trapped Leia when she's bringing him out of hibernation. He was a human. He was a bounty hunter. I can't think of what his name is, but he was a human bounty hunter. I'd want to be him. He was the only one that was not grotesque. I mean, he was, he wasn't like a 5, maybe, But also, let's give a shout out to Star Wars doing so well in the movie theater. It's amazing that people want to see Return of the Jedi because it doesn't blow like the last 3 that shall not be named.
Ooh.
Listen. They weren't terrible. They just weren't very good.
So yeah. All right.
That's
then,
like
Joe.
your wife saying, "Well, at least you tried the night, honey."
No, it's not. Listen,
sometimes it just is what it is.
A shitty Star Wars movie will still be better than Batman versus Superman.
That'll never. That's factually incorrect. That is incorrect. That is so incorrect. In fact, that I'm revoking your talking privileges. You're muted.
The shittiest. I feel like
what's going on, Joe, is edited out of the show.
Oh, stop! Don't be mad because you know I'm right. I feel like the shittiest Star Wars movie is way better than the shittiest DC movie, like by leaps and bounds.
Now those are 2 different conversations because a crappy Star Wars movie can easily be better than Birds of Prey.
I don't think Birds of Prey is the worst DC movie.
Dude, that movie sucked.
Dude, I've taken Jump with more personality than that movie.
That movie was awful.
Listen, I like Margot Robbie, so I like her, and I like her as Kalai. I like her as Harley Quinn. Honestly, I do a lot.
She got a crappy movie. All right, so who would you be, Joe? You're in Jabba's palace. Who are you going to be?
Biff Fortuna.
Okay, there you go. I don't know who that is, but it sounds similar to something that Ace Ventura said. So, all right, Kalai.
He's the leader of Jabba's band.
Okay, there you go. Bumblebee Tuna. Let's go.
Yes, Bumblebee. Bumblebee Tuna.
Jean-Luc Picard.
I dig it. I like it. I like that answer. That's a good one. So check it out. See this little big-eared guy right here? Kind of sitting over there to the right side of Jabba, just kind of like looking out, looking mangy. That's that. I'd be that guy. He's got the best view. He sees what's going on. He's getting. It looks like it looks like he's got like access to rip a few bong hits from that Jabba's bong right there in that picture.
It looks like he also has to pleasure Jabba, and nobody wants to do that job.
I don't know that he's going to get away with too much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
actually, can I take my answer back?
If that's kind of like if I'm Jabba, that's Milo, my little Shih Tzu. That's basically his position.
You want to be Salacious Crumb?
Don't know what that means.
That's the little guy.
Can I give another answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to be Mog. Barf.
I think you made that up.
No,
from Spaceballs?
It was Spaceballs. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
It's a fucking great movie.
It is a great movie. It's a better Star Wars movie than most Star Wars movies.
You're talking about Spaceballs?
Yes.
I hear she gives good helmet. Comb the desert.
Right. You've been combing this fucking desert for years. We found shit.
All right. Yeah. I got to flip back over to Discord now because I started responding to y'all's foolish messages. So, all right. Next question. This is riveting audio.
I got a question for all the fans out there before we ask another question. How come when we try to have an all community question episode, y'all motherfuckers are like, oh, I ask questions this week, but you guys are all ready to ask questions live for Trophy Horrors? What's up with that?
Hey, man, because Trophy Horrors is the fan favorite these days. So, I mean, when you got little questions like this, Scrub MZ Nitro sends in, why is Batfleck the worst Batman of all time? Like, that can't even be taken serious. That's not even a real question. That's
because he is. It's like the obvious answer. We know. Move on to the next question, Darrell.
No. You mean to tell me that you think George Clooney is a better Batman than Ben Affleck?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, I do actually. I would like to know your opinion, even if it's a bad opinion.
All right, so do I think he's a better Batman? No. Do I think he's a better Bruce Wayne? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Interesting.
I do not like Batfleck as Bruce Wayne.
He's the best Bruce Wayne. He's the most comic accurate Bruce Wayne. He's the most comic accurate Batman. Like, I have a entire 60 freaking 4 gig iPhone filled with stills from the animated series, the comic books, and that movie. He is by far the most comic accurate Batman. He doesn't have the really terrible bat face and bat voice like Christian Bale. So he's not a pedophile like Adam West. Okay. He wasn't in the worst freaking movie in the entire run.
That's not okay. So stop there, because that's not his fault. That's not his fault. The studio was like, well, we don't want to be dark and brooding anymore, so we're not going to do Tim Burton's third movie. Instead, we're going to do this fucking idiots movie. Like, that
movie was so bad.
The one wasn't that bad.
It wasn't terrible. It got worse. It got progressive.
I don't know, man. It's pretty. Like, I know that the fourth movie is way worse than the third. Let's not like. Oh man, I feel like
Batman Forever was a great movie as a kid. When you go back and watch it as an adult, it is cringe. But
I agree. But like, in the immortal words of A.V. Jen, it sucks now and it sucks forever. Like, it's terrible. Honestly, though, I feel like the third and the fourth movie don't give the villains enough screen time at all. They don't get to develop. You get a lot of development in both Tim Burton movies of both villains. You get very deep dives into their psyche and what they're about, and they have enough screen time to develop. And like you actually don't like them for reasons, and like you can actually sympathize with them. Like, you can sympathize of why the Joker is the way he is, or you can sympathize of why Oswald Cobblepot is the way he is, or why Catwoman is the way she was. Like, they gave those, like, Tim Burton always gave his characters enough time to develop and breathe. He's an amazing director. Is he a little dark, and does he put fucking Helen Bonham Carter in all his garbage ass movies? Yes.
I have to stop you there, because the reason why Catwoman was the way she was, because she was living most of her life in the gangster's paradise.
That's right.
Oh, Jesus.
That's so good.
Oh, man. That was good. I like that.
All I'm saying is this. All right, Joe, stand down. You're wrong. Okay. Ben Affleck is the best Batman, best Bruce Wayne, the most comic accurate.
No, the best Batman of all time is Batman the Animated Series. And it's not an argument.
You know what? I had this conversation with MZ earlier. And it's actually, you know what, Thomas? That is incorrect. Because here's the problem. That is the best Bat voice.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's right. All right.
He's not Batman. He's not Batman.
What? He is Batman.
He was the voice.
That's fucking Batman.
No, because Batman is more than just a voice. Batman is a figure. Batman is vengeance. He is the knight. He is.
And you don't think that cartoon depicted Batman perfectly?
You know what? I think it was a very, very amazing depiction of, I would say, the best depiction of Batman. And you know what? I would also say, look at this. Oh my gosh. Frame for frame, the animated series Batman that you're so in love with, and Ben Affleck. Booyah. The most comic accurate Bruce Wayne. The most comic accurate Batman. Yes.
Okay. If you could have anybody in God's green earth, alive or dead, play Batman, who would it be?
Ben Affleck.
Wow.
That's all. That is, we have ascended to the top of the mountain. It just doesn't get better than that. That dude killed it. He freaking killed it. And the particular Batman
he killed Daredevil too. But what's your point?
Yeah, he killed both of those franchises. You don't see any more movies, right?
I don't know, man. The Daredevil show on Netflix was pretty freaking killer.
Mother effers were like, "Hey, guess what? We like this. We like Pattinson better. So now we're getting another Pattinson movie instead."
Which is unfortunate because
we're getting another Daredevil series.
Yep,
I'm fine with that. Daredevil was great. Like,
Daredevil was good.
Matt Murdock's a great character.
So you watched the new Batman movie, the Patterson movie, right?
Yeah, emo Batman.
Every time I see him, all I can think of is Twilight, and basically just watching him and just going like the theme song from Twilight, like the every time they'd show him on film, that was his theme song. It was like,
you watched Twilight?
I had to watch it with my wife one time. So,
that's right.
And I actually watched the parody. Dude, I love the parody. There was like when Netflix like originally came online, okay, when they started their digital and they started the actual series, they actually had like a thing called Twilight. It was like some kids from New Jersey. You should love this, by the way. Some kids from New Jersey. It was their thesis film, okay? And basically the girl, it's like a parody film, and she's like, and like the dude who's pretending to be the Indian guy, it's like, hello, what's her name, Bella? It's like, hello, Bella. And it's like, do you remember me? Like, and she's like, obviously I remember you. You never forget the first time. You never forget the first guy who fingered you. So,
oh, jeez.
Wait, it was like a porn parody?
No, it was just a parody, and it was so cringe because there were so many college kids that were just doing it, and I guess that was just one of the dialogue lines. She just wrote that one or just did it on the fly, and because all the lines are just really garbage. I mean, seriously, it's so bad, it's unbelievably funny. That's how good it is because it's so bad, it's unbelievably funny, and it was one of Netflix's first things they put on their digital when they're no longer doing like DVDs. And they actually started doing the digital. That was one of the very first things that would pop up. I remember it because it was so bad. I made my wife watch it, and she said, "Don't ever waste my effing time again." And I didn't get no PUSSY for like almost 2 weeks because of that.
It was so bad that she dried up on you.
Let's just say she was not happy that I made her watch it because she thought like it was going to be funny. And she's like, when does this get good? She's watched like 30 minutes of it. Like, is this ever going to get good? And I'm like, no, you got to keep watching it because it's so funny. And she didn't think. See, I love B and C movies. I like stuff that's dog crap.
Oh, Tubi is one of my favorite things ever invented. That app is amazing.
So it's one of those things I thought was unbelievably funny. And she did not find it funny at all because she didn't get the humor from it because she's never been around Northerners or lived up in Jersey, and I lived in Jersey for a good while. I had told Kalai a story about like when I was in middle school up in off of Broadway. It was Horseman Middle School right there by the Pike in Bayonne, and she thought that story was pretty funny. I'll make it really quick. Basically, I just moved there from Texas, and of course, everybody wants to fight you because you a Yahoo, and it's like, hey, Tex, draw. It's like, they think everybody's a cowboy just because you're from Texas. But long story short, after you fight them, you become friends, whatever. And so this one kid's like, hey, man, we're in the library. And it's just this beautiful Italian girl, man. I think all Italians are beautiful. But he said, go up to this girl and ask her to give you a BJ. And I said, yeah, right. I'm like, watch. She's gonna hit me and I'm gonna get in trouble and all this other stuff. I said, no, man, let's go up to her. So I go up to her and I'm laughing and I'm turning red as I'm going up to her because, I'm a kid. And I'm like, so-and-so over here says that you'll do whatever. And, I'm trying to like play it off like, this is all this guy's fault that I'm bothering you. And she said, pull him down. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm down. Like, you want to come over to my house and like you and him can hit me off? I'm like, I put my finger up and I said, excuse me for a moment. So I walk away. I go over to him like, you son of a bitch, man. And he's like, well, hey, man, you want to come over and get some of that? I'm like, dude, I don't want to get none. I'm scared, okay? I'm a Christian and I'm a virgin. I don't want to be involved in something like that. And I'm like 13/12 years old. I'm like sweating bullets because everybody else is cool because they're all doing it. And I'm just some dude like, I believe in the whole Disney bullcrap of like, I'm going to wait for marriage or wait till I find my true love. No, that did not happen. But I didn't go over there. I actually went to the comic book store that day and played the Bionic Commando for the arcade that was in there, and I bought Punisher versus Wolverine that day.
So good.
Yes, the Punisher versus Wolverine series very good. But I do remember playing the arcade game of Bionic Commando, which is actually very different from the NES version of Bionic Commando. But if the old man me now could actually relive that moment, I would probably went to that house and been with that girl and the dude's like, hey man, you stay on one side, I stay on the other side. I regret because you're a kid and you're scared, because you don't want to do anything like that. Because again, you need to believe in the whole fairy tale of whatever. But now that you're an old man, you experience life and you had all these experiences, you're like, man, I really missed out on an opportunity. I wish I could go back and change that. Now, I probably would have missed out on getting that.
You probably would have missed out on getting AIDS.
Oh,
you missed out on.
So where the hell was this answer when we had the time machine last week?
Thomas was like, I would go back that time. I almost got AIDS. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to think you're 13. You ain't got no protection. You can't afford any protection. You ain't got a job.
No, there you go. You lived to tell that
when
story.
I was 13.
You better hope your pullout game was strong.
And he's like, well, you see this 5-year-old I keep telling you about. All right. Next question. We got to get away from that one because I feel like I'm going to get AIDS just hearing it. So, Games and Games Mortgages wrote in and says, what do you think about
what?
My brother Gagum? It used to be Games and Gains Media because he wanted to play video games and lift weights on camera, and that was his little Twitch channel. And now he's in the mortgage business. He changed media to mortgages. It's because he's a nerd. All right. So he writes in and says, what do you think about Hypnotic, the new Affleck flick? I haven't seen it yet. Have you guys seen the new Ben Affleck film, Hypnotic?
No.
Got to add that one to the watch list.
I mean, I'll watch anything that man. Did he write and direct it and like star in it? Because I pretty much like all the stuff he does. I really want to see his that Michael Jordan shoe movie that the Air, the one that talks about like how they created the Air Jordan shoe. I want to watch that movie.
Wait, can we just acknowledge the fact that Darrell water can is the Loot Bros? Can I see it?
Yeah. Booyah.
Is that a sticker?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of Loot Bros merch made a long time ago, and whenever I first started my eBay store, what I would do was anytime someone bought anything from me, I would put Loot Bros stickers in the back and Ninja Loot stickers. But I'm out of both, and I don't have my connection like I used to, so now I got to actually pay full price for stickers, and they're freaking expensive. It's not worth it. So instead, I get business cards made with our logo, the exploding TV, and all of our faces on it. And the back has a little QR code that you scan to take you straight to the show. Yeah, and
did Josh create that design?
He did the design on the front. Yeah,
that design is fucking sick.
It really is. It's dope. So I'm having it updated right now because we're sponsoring the next wave of Legacy Comics.
And we are.
Congratulations to us. Yeah, I know. And so we're going to be in the next wave of comics, and this time it's going to have the QR code on there so that people can scan it and follow the show and find it immediately. So
that's dope.
Yep. So that'll be the next wave of legacy books. And
is that is that what the business cards do too?
Yeah, the business cards, which has been a huge help, man. A lot of people follow the show. A lot of people. As a matter of fact, one of the guests I'm going to have on for next week, he actually followed the show. The same thing.
Where are my business cards for all the people I get to follow the show?
So, I told you guys I was going to send you some, and then I started shipping them in my eBay stuff, and I got to get another load of 500 because I'm almost out.
Yeah, well, could you get me some? Because I literally would talk to people and would love to be like, here's my business card. Yep.
I'll get them. I'll get it when I get the next batch of them made. I'll send them off before I ship them off because everything I sell on eBay gets one of those cards, and super helpful.
That's amazing that you've sold that much crap that you've gone through a whole stack of cards already.
Yeah, I've sold in the past, I don't know, since I started this thing, over 300 items. And then when I'm out in the wild and doing the flea market stuff, I pass them out when I talk to people. And then I've got I don't know, I might only have 25 or 30 left, out of the first 500. It's not many. So,
nice.
Not bad. All right. Ender writes in. And he said, who would win in a match, Yokozuna or Andre the Giant?
Ooh.
Andre the Giant, because he was actually a natural freak. And the fact is that Andre was ungodly gifted and strong. I mean, he really was a giant. Yokozuna was 6'2", if that.
The dude can kick your head off. Yokozuna could kick your head off. He has one of the best standing front kicks I've ever seen in wrestling. And the dude weighed 300 and something pounds or 400 pounds. what that dude could do in the ring in his prime, like WrestleMania 9 era, is unbelievable, dude. I don't mean to cut you off, but like that dude was unbelievably talented. Like he could go, like in his prime. Once he got like really heavy and couldn't do much, yeah, he was a mess. But so was Andre in the end.
But Andre was in constant pain, dude. I mean, Andre was like,
well, gigantism's a bitch.
Yeah.
Big Show had the chance to go through the operation to get rid of his gigantism gene when he was a child, and he said he didn't want it removed.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm always a fan of Andre, but I like.
Well, you like him, Princess Bride, yeah.
Dude, man, you keep stealing my thunder. What the hell?
Sorry, I know you love Princess Bride, Kalai. I love it too. It's an amazing movie, and he's actually really good in that movie.
He really is. He really is. I mean, yeah. Sorry, guys, because I'm not a big fan of wrestling. So, we're gonna go, I guess, to our next question since somebody walked away.
Darrell abandoned the show.
Community questions. No, old Kalai has to put her glasses on.
Community questions.
Oh, and there's a follow-up question to Ender's question. And for Kalai, who would win in a match, Narga or Kuma? Narga is Matt's cat. Kuma is my cat. I think Kuma, because Narga doesn't have a second cat like Kuma does, and his little ass can be vicious at night. He actually will just get up randomly and go after Monami, even though she's not even bothering him. All right, Diago writes in, what is the best WrestleMania match of all time, and why is it TLC 2 at X7? What the fuck does that even mean?
It's not. And
Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, 1 or 2 you can do, followed by Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, what about you, Joe?
It's tough. I mean, I could give the easy answer, which is Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, or Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels 2, or Triple H versus Undertaker 2. But my number one answer and my favorite WrestleMania match of all time, actually, my 2 favorite WrestleMania matches of all time, my second favorite, which I think is the second best one, Rock versus Stone Cold 2 at WrestleMania 17 is an absolute barn buster. And my number one match of all time is Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10.
That was a good one.
And I think it's one of the best.
That's SummerSlam, but you're right. It's WrestleMania.
Well, SummerSlam should have been where they put the belt on Owen, but they never did it. And if they were ever going to do it, that would have been the time, because that was the peak of their rivalry. But honestly, I think it's a shame that the storyline going into 10, because it was so hot, wasn't Owen versus Bret for the title instead of that stupid double finish at the Royal Rumble, which led to Lex Express versus Bret. And the original storyline was to have Lex go over at WrestleMania and actually win the title. But because he was like a fart in church, because Lex Express pretty much failed itself, they were like, no, we'll just keep the belt on Bret, then we'll have him, or we'll keep the belt on Yoko and then have Bret win it in the last match. But yeah, I know you're a big Stone Cold guy, so I get why you picked Stone Cold, but I'm surprised you didn't pick Stone Cold and Rock.
I like that match a lot, but you have to give it up to Shawn Michaels, because this is when Shawn Michaels, think about this. Shawn Michaels, after that match at WrestleMania against Austin, he's hurt, he's gone for 4 years. This is when they finally take over and beat WCW, because The Rock is on top, Stone Cold's on top, all the other guys are on top. Without Shawn Michaels, if Shawn Michaels wouldn't have went home, he wasn't hurt from the casket match. Remember the casket match?
When he got dropped. When he got dropped on the casket.
When he got dropped on the casket. How would they have been if Shawn would have still been there? Because Shawn
No, go ahead.
Would he have let Stone Cold be Stone Cold? The way he would have been, or really politic. And then the same thing with The Rock. The Rock had beef with him for a very long time because the stuff that he did for not wanting to do some shows over in Hawaii for his family. Now they've squashed that now because he's head of NXT and he's working with his daughter and everything, Ava Rain, which is his daughter. But I really think that Austin versus Shawn could have been so much better if Shawn wasn't hurt. And remember, Shawn basically was threatened not to show up for that match. Shawn was he was kind of holding him hostage.
He didn't want to wrestle Stone Cold either. So.
No. Well, hell, dude, no one wanted to wrestle Stone Cold at the time. He was so damn hot. But the thing was that he, Stone Cold's style had to change because what Owen did, with the stupid pop tombstone
pile driver.
Pile driver.
But think of it: if Stone Cold's style never changed, he never would have been Stone Cold ever.
No. I disagree. If you watch him in WCW as Stunning Steve Austin, he had it. He had it,
and he could wrestle. But Stone Cold's style had everything to do with that brawling mentality. And that brawling mentality is completely different from what the Ringmaster was. Completely.
But he would have had better matches if he would have never got hurt. But he had it. And the thing was, I think Jim Cornette said it best, is that Stone Cold Steve Austin's character can go to any time in history, and he would be accepted and loved because he was just a shit kicker, pardon my language, and basically got it done. He was so good, he got it done. And thing was, he's lovable. And thing is, you can't teach that it factor. You either have it or you don't. Roman had it. Roman didn't know how to access it. Now Roman knows how to access it. And it took him a long time to understand how to access what he had, but it had more to do with the company basically throwing him in your face. He would have been loved a lot sooner if the company wouldn't have basically kept pushing him on you. It's like you hope LA Knight will actually get a chance to be a champion of something because he actually has the it factor. And LA Knight could actually do a lot more if they let him.
Honestly, I think LA Knight falls into that annoying ass Stone Cold category. I hated Stone Cold as a kid. I'm gonna put that out there. Absolutely fucking
what?
Love Stone Cold.
Only person I've ever heard to say that.
Because I'm a Rock fan, and if not for Stone Cold, The Rock would have been the guy, and he was never the guy.
If not for Stone Cold, The Rock wouldn't have been The Rock.
That's correct.
Then he would have been stuck in the nation of masturbation forever.
Thank God Stone Cold took his ball and went home. Because if not, I don't think The Rock gets 2 of his title reigns. Seriously.
If it wasn't for The Rock, if it wasn't for Stone Cold, there would be no Rock. He made The Rock. He brought that out.
Same way.
Trailer park monkey crap, trailer park trash, all that stuff came out because Stone Cold drew that out of him. If there's no Stone Cold, then who does The Rock feud with? We never really see what The Rock can do.
So the biggest travesty in WrestleMania history is WrestleMania 16, and the fact that WrestleMania 16 is not Triple H versus The Rock 1-on-1 for the championship. The fact that it was that god awful McMahon in every corner main event was god awful because they didn't believe that the two of them could put on a main event, which I think if you look back in history, that's a travesty. It's like those two would have stole the show. Look what they did in that ladder match in SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. Those two, that's probably both of their best rivalry that never got the shine it really deserved in the spotlight it really deserved.
The best WrestleMania match is Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 13.
I've already said that.
That's a great match. It's the best double turn in the history of wrestling. Period.
That's correct.
Of all time, nothing tops it. I think the only one that comes close to doing the same thing that they did was The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. They both went in. Hogan was the heel. Rock was the babyface. They left Rock the heel. Hogan the babyface.
But that was The Rock thinking on the fly and changing the outcome on purpose.
Well, The Rock couldn't do anything. They were chanting Rocky sucks, and the dude was over. It's
because he did.
You can't fuck with Hulkamania. You just can't. It'd be like if Cena faced him now. I still feel like Cena would get he would get destroyed against Hulk Hogan. The crowd would still be like Hulk is the man because Hulk must pose and he must go over, and it's a shame. But Darrell, you did tell us your favorite. What's some other of your favorite WrestleMania matches?
So I really love the TLC matches. I think Diego actually brings that up in the Discord question. I think the TLC
he did. He said that was the answer.
They're so good. I really, really dig those. Again, that one between you mentioned Bret Hart and Owen Hart. That's another one of my favorites. I'm such a Bret Hart fan. Bret Hart and Stone Cold are two of my Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think those guys put on the most entertaining matches for two different reasons. Like, I don't think anyone has ever really. Bret Hart was so butter smooth in the ring, and everything he did just oozed style and just was awesome. I love his work. And then you take him with the brawler. Watching Stone Cold Steve Austin in the ring made me feel like a bad A. Like, I didn't even have to do anything, but Stone Cold being on screen made me feel tougher. Like, you just resonated with that dude. And it was great. It was
he's responsible for one of the worst wrestling chants of all time.
What?
He even said it's the worst one ever created. Period. He said, I wish I never would have created that garbage. He said it on his podcast.
But the fans pop for that guy. Like, he explodes the roof off of buildings. When he came out, especially during the Attitude Era, because that was my era growing up, like, Stone Cold, he was a phenomenon. Like, Stone Cold was everywhere. The kids at school, I mean, we were cutting wrestling promos on each other. Like, it was just stomping a mud hole and walking it dry was not only like a fun comedic thing to say, but like, that was like legit when people are getting ready to throw freaking fists in the hallways in school.
Open a can of whoop ass.
Dude, that open up a can and stomp on a mud hole. Those were legit things said. And people
this was when wrestling was on fire. Like, there was a bar fight. Like, I was here, like, I think it was my 5th or 6th year in South Carolina. And there was a bar fight in Philly. A bar fight in Philly where they said that somebody out of nowhere hit a diamond cutter.
Dude,
it was on the news about a bar fight, and the whole bar fight was about someone hitting the diamond cutter on somebody out of nowhere.
So I was in what we call today AGP, the Gifted and Talented program. Back when I was a kid, we called it Horizons, and I think we changed it to ACE about the same time. But anyways, I was in all the advanced classes with all the freaking super nerds, right? Wrestling was such a phenomenon that we in our AGP, there's a word I'm looking for, our honors classes, we're freaking cutting wrestling promos. We were freaking throwing the diamond cutter on each other. Freaking one of the dudes in my class got his jaw dislocated because someone hit him with a stunner, like a legit. I pedigreed one of my best friends at one of our Ninja Loot shows in the middle of the pit. I got off stage. We do this little wrestling bit every now and again, and I freaking pedigreed him in the middle of the pit. Like, I've got pictures of me and Frosty putting people through tables. And when I was a youth pastor at this church out in, I don't know, probably.
You put random kids through tables, like, okay, little Jimmy.
Yeah, we did a church. You know how they have like the lock-ins, whatever, where you guys stay in the fellowship hall and you stay up all night eating pizza in roughhousing. We had hardcore matches. I legit got slammed on a chair, and like, I'm like, how do people do this? How do they do this? Because my body hurt for days afterwards. I'm like, this is crazy. But yeah, dude, we're so big in that stuff.
Beating each other's asses in the house of God?
That's right. Hey,
you did a house of God match, basically.
That's what That's right. It was tables, ladders, and chairs.
Bibles match? Tables, ladders, and Bibles?
That's right. Yeah, we didn't have the Austin 316. We went for the John 316 on this one. We're trying to send them to meet the Lord. So that's how you win. You go to heaven. And it's the first one to ascend to heaven wins. But yeah, dude, we had a just, man, I'm telling you, wrestling was such a huge part. And that's what we did too. As another thing, I would back when pay-per-views were actually valued and you had to pay for them. I would, buy the pay-per-views and bring my youth group over to the house. We'd eat pizza and watch WrestleMania. Like, that was a huge deal.
That's awesome. Yeah, I used to do that too. But I still get my buddies together every month now, and it's so much easier since we don't have to pay for things. But like, AEW is great now because like we have that like camaraderie again where we're like, oh bro, we all have to pay like pony up money together.
$10, man. Yeah. When you got skin in the game, it means more.
Yeah, you actually want to pay attention. You're not on your phone. Like half the WWE pay-per-views I watch, I'm on my phone surfing half the time.
Hey, I felt very disappointed when I chipped in the $20 for the Tyson Spinks fight, and that lasted less than a minute.
Oh, my wife says the same thing.
Don't lie. It'll last 10 minutes.
I said a minute. That includes cleanup. So I made that joke with her earlier today, as a matter of fact. But yeah, definitely. As far and Joe, just to answer your question, you had asked about some of my other favorite WrestleMania matches. Wasn't there like an Armageddon match at like a 6-man match at?
You're talking about Armageddon SL? That wasn't at WrestleMania.
That wasn't WrestleMania.
No, but do you remember that WrestleMania 17 hardcore match where like it was Raven and like everybody else back in the heyday and Kane?
Oh, dude.
And they were, that was when Crash Holly had the title, I believe. It might have been the year after Crash Holly.
Yeah, dude. For whatever reason, man, that year that they had the Armageddon match, Armageddon SL, like whatever that WrestleMania was, because it was all of them. It was all the big names. It was Austin. It was Triple H. It was The Rock. It was just all those guys in their prime, just going at it. Kurt Angle. God,
that Armageddon SL match is my favorite pay-per-view match of all time. Nothing.
It's a good one. That's one of my favorites.
Just amazing.
So, but yeah. Yes. So, Kalai, what was your favorite wrestling match? WrestleMania, that is.
I don't know.
All right. There you go. Andre versus Hogan, WrestleMania 3. Let's do this. I actually don't think that's a very good match, but it was iconic for the time. So Diego also writes in, he asks us, what's something that you're good at that no one would suspect? Kalai, what's something that you're good at that none of us would know?
To be honest, customer service.
Okay.
Like I have a lot of jobs where I do phone jobs and people just love me. That's good. All right. What about you, Crawdaddy? What's something that you're good at that we probably wouldn't suspect?
I'm gonna say singing. I'm a very good singer-songwriter. Or used to be.
That's what's up. I like that. All right. What about you, Joe?
I don't know. So it's a really weird question to answer. Trophy! Finally.
Oh, it's been a while.
Only fucking hour and 50 minutes of this show. Finally popped a trophy.
I popped 2 earlier, but I just was trying to be quiet.
Shit. Like, what am I good at? Like, it's tough.
Are you good at anything?
I feel like I'm good at a lot of things, but like, I don't know. I guess a friend, like a true friend. I don't stab people in the back.
Yeah, you are a really good friend, because how many times do I call you on my way home to keep me company and we talk about video games?
100%. I'm always willing to talk to people. And I still call people on the phone, which is like a lost art, and people hate it. I still do it, though.
Heck yeah, dude. I dig it. I'm old school. I still call my borrowers, and they're just like, bruh. Like, no one wants to answer the phone. I'm like just pick up. Come on, just pick up.
I don't want to text you. If I wanted to, I don't want to waste all my time. Like, here's a rant for this show. I don't want to fucking text people. I don't want to text people because it takes me so long to formulate a thought. By the time I formulate one thought, like Thomas over there could have fucking texted me like 7 messages. I didn't even respond to the first one yet. Because plus I'm terrible at spelling, so like I have to go back and fix my shit because it's all spelled wrong and I look like an idiot.
Hey,
like sending emails at my job is like my most. I hate sending emails at my job, and I have to send like 50 of them a day. So like when I have to write emails, like it takes me a good half an hour to write one email. It's sad.
Use Chat GPT or EBT.
It's just terrible. I hate like if they're because I send a lot of like important emails, so it's like not like I can fuck them up. Like everything has to be perfect in the email. I have to read it like 3 times. Because I used to send emails like when I first started working there, and I just fucking sent them. I was like, fuck it. Like, because I didn't have like a high position or I didn't really have like a much responsibility, so I could just send whatever I wanted. Now it has to have like header to footer, and it has to have like the right information in it. It's a fucking pain in the ass. So I guess I'm really good sending emails now because I got a lot of fucking practice.
There you go. There you go. That's a skill. So I am one of those people who can do almost anything, but I'm probably not really good at anything. I would like to do the jack of all trades, the master of none. I can do a little bit of everything, and my resume is a mile long, but I don't know that I've ever been good at anything. And most of the things that I'm even, somewhat competent at, I've talked about on the show. But one thing that I hear a lot, I don't know that I necessarily agree with it, I hear I'm really good at, is that I'm a good dad. I get a lot of feedback from people around me and family. Of course, my little brats think I'm good to them too. Little jerks, they just don't know any better. But I hear that I'm a good dad.
I can see that. I see your pictures on Facebook, and I see the way you talk about your kids. I was very close to my dad, and that was really important to me. My dad was a really good dad, so.
Heck yeah. I think that my kids they're not gonna want me around forever. There's gonna come a day where they're gonna like, you know what, Dad? And I'm already starting to see it. My kids want to hang with their friends and stuff like that. So I've really tried over the years to make a point to spend time with them, be intentional with it. Like today, like you guys, Kalai, maybe you probably saw it. I know Thomas did. Like my daughter was in here and she's just watching TV in my office. And unfortunately I had to kind of work late today. I had a 6:30 with a borrower and it ran over, and I just had a bunch going on this evening. And so she came over and I was telling her goodnight. I love her and all that stuff. My wife was putting the kids to bed for me so I could get to the show because I was already late with a whole, just everything got behind. And I told her, I was like, I'm really sorry I didn't actually get to watch the movie with you. I just was in the room with you while you were watching it. And she's like, it's okay. She gave me a kiss and she's like, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, hey, I'll make it up to you. We'll watch the movie, tomorrow night. But we're doing a community yard sale this weekend. And the kids want to do a lemonade stand and baked goods and stuff. So I was like, well, what we'll do is we'll put your movie on tomorrow night and we'll bake brownies and cookies and make lemonade and stuff and get prepared for Saturday. And we'll do all that stuff tomorrow night. So I try really hard to make sure that I carve out time for the kids that's intentional and it's fun and things that they'll remember when they're older and go, you know what, dude, we did this with my dad. We did this.
Yeah, that's actually a funny story. My father owned a business and, just like you, if he didn't work, he didn't make money. And of course, we needed money. There's no way around it. So when we first were young, he worked 7 days a week. He never closed his store, and he couldn't. He had to work every single day. It was his business. My mother told him that he needs to carve out time for his kids because she doesn't want her kids growing up without knowing their father. And we did stuff like fishing and bowling. And to this day, I still remember going out on the boats and having fun fishing with my father.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Yep. I could go on and on about just that kind of stuff. That stuff matters to me, and my parents, they didn't get it right. They didn't quite focus on that stuff. And now they're spending, their latter years trying to make up for it. And I'm like, you know what? That's one of the calls I got tonight. I was talking to my mom. She was just telling me how much she enjoyed the YouTube videos and she wanted to come around more. And me and my mom were estranged for like 17 years. We didn't even speak to each other. And so now, you look at me and my mom now and you're like, dude, you'd never even know that we had such a large gap in life where we didn't communicate. And so I don't want my kids to have that, I don't want them to have a blip in their life where it was like they really missed out on something. So yeah, so it's been what's up. All right. So now we're going to end this segment. We're going to roll into our topic, but with something that I'm styling you, bro. Styling says, great. Now we get half an hour of that hack Snyder talk. And I hate to disappoint you, but, you didn't get the half hour of the Snyder talk. But Diego had one more question, and it was, who is your favorite film director? So, Kalai, do you have a certain director of movies that whenever this person puts out something, you're like, yeah, I'm going to dig this?
No, I really don't follow directors. I follow actors.
Okay. Which typically, to me, That's kind of the normal, right? Like you tend to find an actor you like or actress that you like, and then it's like, yeah, when they're in something, I know it's going to be good. When I watch a Nicolas Cage movie, I'm getting Nick Cage.
Exactly.
If you like The Rock, you're going to get The Rock in every movie he's in. It's the same guy.
Raised in Arizona.
Don't even know what that is.
You've never seen Raised in Arizona with Nicolas Cage?
No,
Laura Dern.
It's impossible to watch every one of Nick Cage's movies. He's in too many.
Well, you gotta
Not really.
You got to go back and watch.
Crazy. Look at his IMDb. It's ridiculous. That dude is in. There was probably a 10-year period after Con Air and Face Off where that dude did like 40 movies. It's ridiculous. Nick Cage is in everything. I go to the flea market right now, and it's like every time I turn around, oh, look, there's a Nick Cage movie I've never heard of.
You're not working hard enough, Darrell. I'm
not saying that I am. I am for someone who grew up with his family owning a video store and movies was the thing. I am a pretty sorry excuse for a movie watcher these days, but I have seen BVS well over 100 times.
Fucking sad, man.
Thomas, favorite director.
I'd say for me, Francis Ford Coppola made some of my more favorite movies. I believe he is behind the Godfather movies, if I'm correct.
Okay.
The original. And then he also did what was it? I think one of his last movies was the Keanu Reeves Dracula movie, which was good. And then he directed and it's my favorite movie of all time. And I'm kind of cheesy and corny. I think he also directed this one, The Quiet Man, with Margaret O'Hare, or excuse me, Maureen O'Hare. The beautiful redhead, and John Wayne, and he goes back home to Ireland, and I think it's one of the most beautiful movies ever made because I'm sentimental. But I love that movie so much. But if you look at Francis Ford Coppola's movies throughout the years, he's done so many different tributes and different things. The easiest one to say is Martin Scorsese because he does all the gangster movies and Gangs in New York, which is an awesome movie with Daniel Day-Lewis. But I'd rather go with someone who's more classical, who's done a different variety, and tells very, very deep stories, and have a simple meaning. Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay. All right. Joe.
Oh man, this is a very tough question for me. I love directors. Actually, I watch a lot of movies. So I'll go as quickly as I possibly can. If I want to watch anything horror, I will watch The Master of Horror. I will watch Wes Craven. Anything Wes Craven is fantastic. Yep. If I'm going to watch comedy, I'm probably going to go with Wes Anderson or John Hughes, because I think they're both phenomenal. John Hughes, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He wrote Home Alone. He's amazing.
Pretty in Pink.
Yes, Pretty in Pink. St. Elmo's Fire. Weird Science. Like, the dude's a legend. Wes Anderson. I mean, you have Rushmore. You have Royal Tenenbaums. You have Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. You have Darjeeling Limited. You have there's the master himself, Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest film directors of all time. Jurassic Park.
John Carpenter would be the master himself.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good one.
What happened? I like John Carpenter, but I do think Wes Craven is a better director than him.
I think that if you put a picture of Wes Craven and you put a picture of John Carpenter beside each other, I would do the Office meme, and I would say these two are the same. That, to me, those two are just so equal. And I grew up in an era where they were just like pumping out gold.
I think the Cunningham doesn't get enough credit for Jason and for Friday the 13th. I feel like he should get more credit, but I feel like he didn't have enough skin in the game as they did, because he kind of like left earlier on, whereas those guys directed a lot of stuff afterwards, and he kind of jet. I also think Wes Craven has just like such long, the longevity of his mastery and his craft. Like, I mean, he did Nightmare on Elm Street and then turned around 20 years later and did Scream.
And also did Puppet Master, correct? Or Puppet Master.
Which one of those guys did Phantasm?
That was Wes Craven? Trying to think. I don't know. I'm. It's late.
That's old, and that's just so many movies ago.
My two favorite directors.
Who did Pumpkinhead?
I don't know off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, my two favorite directors of all time are probably Wes Anderson, which I already talked about, and my number one is Quentin Tarantino.
That's good.
That is the one where, like, no matter what it is, I will drop what I am doing, and I will go see it in the movie theater. Like, I have to see all his movies the day they come out, first day of release. I've seen them all in the theater, except for Pulp Fiction because I was too young. And
I think it's written in his contract that he has to have at least someone say the N-word like 15 times.
I'm just upset that he's at the end of his rope and he's only making one more movie, and that's kind of sad. And then, obviously, my shout out, my OG homie, my hometown hero, Kevin Smith. I love him. I love him, and I love all his movies, and I love them to death. And Mallrats is my favorite Kevin Smith movie. It always will be. Nothing will dethrone it. I could watch that movie every day and not get tired of it.
It's a good movie.
Kevin
Smith is a mixed bag. Sometimes I really love his work, and sometimes I really hate it.
So, okay, did you watch the deleted scenes from Mallrats where it's where it's like the media's outside of his house? It's like,
yes, in the beginning.
Hell, I think go over to their house. Yeah, and it's he has like a black mask where
that was the alternate. That was the alternate beginning. Yeah, that was the alternate beginning. Yeah, they filmed that at Monmouth University.
Dude, that Ben Affleck scene in there. He's like, "Call me Donnie."
Oh my God, so good.
On the block.
So good.
Call me Donnie. Don't you go, girl. Don't you go.
Don't you go, girl. Don't you go. Yeah, that movie's just classics. Now, Silent Bob. Dude, I said, now, Silent Bob.
I love that line. And
also,
was it Dogma?
That's a Star Wars reference for everybody because it's Star Wars Day still.
That's right. Wasn't it? Was it Dogma or whatever? It was like Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Yeah, bomb and Phantoms, yo. You the bomb and Phantoms, yo.
Yeah, Ben Affleck was the bomb and My brother and I said that.
Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
That's what it was. Yeah. So good. That's so good. But it is also correct. Factually, that is one of the best movies ever made. Phantoms.
That movie is honestly extremely underrated.
So underrated.
Because I would say my favorite, and I get so much shit for this. Like my movie where I think it shows like how much of a good filmmaker he is Jersey Girl. And everyone shits on me for it, but if you watch Jersey Girl, you can see how good of a writer he is, how good of a director he is, and how he could take two people that aren't very good at. Well, you could take someone that's really good at acting and someone that's really good at acting, put them in roles, and like honestly, like that movie is so heartwarming, and it shows that he can make a film that's not just dick and fart jokes the whole way through.
That almost ended Ben Affleck's career, dude.
Listen,
Jersey Girl.
Yes,
dude, he got a lot of heat for Jiggly, but look, he's done married J-Lo twice. So
yeah, Geely is the one that almost ended his career.
Jiggly,
yeah, you're right, Geely.
Geely was garbage, but Geely is what killed that movie because that came out right after Geely did, and it did nothing because everyone was like, we're not doing Geely 2, get the fuck out of here. But I honestly think that's such a well-made movie. And I think if you've never seen Red State's another really good Kevin Smith movie where it just shows...
Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy was good.
Chasing Amy's
was okay.
No, that shows how good of a writer he is too. Just how dynamic.
That has a lot to do about the comic book industry.
It does.
Yeah. The movie's okay. I didn't love it when it came out, and I haven't watched it since it came out. That's how long ago it was. So, all right, I'm going to piggyback off of that with saying Wes Craven and John Carpenter, two of the GOATs, two of my absolute favorites. Immediately when I saw this question, those guys popped in my head. Also, who's the guy that directed 300?
Oh, fuck.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Don't even say it. Come on.
Oh, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder. He was really good. Yeah. I really, really like that movie. I really like that director. I love his. I tell you what, I love the old Dawn of the Dead movie, but that Dawn of the Dead remake, whoever directed that one, what was that guy's name? On the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, Zack Snyder. That's right. I really love that guy.
Honestly, that movie is one of the true modern classics of horror movies.
Because you love Zack Snyder so much, what you should do is use the AI computer animated.
Did he just say Jack
app.
Snyder?
He said Zack.
He should marry him. That's what he should do.
No. what you should do is for one of the Batman movies, you're going to take the little app for the AI and have them saying, it's like, this is Batman.
That's right. That's right.
This is Batfleck.
Yeah. So my daughter asked me earlier today. She goes, "Daddy, besides Batman vs Superman, what is your favorite movie?" By the way, I don't know if you guys see this, but I'm wearing my old BBS shirt right now.
Have problems.
But I said my favorite movie. There's 3 movies that come to mind. When someone asks me what's my favorite movie, I'll say Big Trouble in Little China. I will say Batman vs Superman, naturally, and then I'll say
Jack Burton always says if you're going to like Batman versus Superman, Jack Burton says you should also like the original Batman and Batman Returns.
There you go. I love those movies.
Pork Chop Express.
That's right. And then I'll say The Rundown with The Rock and Sean William Scott.
It's probably one of his best movies where he's not just playing himself in that movie.
It's so incredibly good. Those are my favorite movies.
Now, say The Running Man. That's a great movie.
That was not a bad movie. I was a huge Schwarzenegger fan growing up.
Imagine that technology actually exists today, and people are using that technology today. That was made up technology to put somebody in a position that they weren't in. So that's how far we've come from what was that 86 or 84, where the technology of making him look like he was shooting people in order to put him in jail. Now we can do that in actual real life. That's effing scary.
It is wild. It is super wild. But I say that to say this, that like I, like Kalai, growing up and even in nowadays, I don't necessarily follow directors. It wasn't until, and I think I've said this on the show before, it really wasn't until, Zack Snyder, I saw a pattern in the movies, where I loved the Dawn of the Dead, and I loved.
Is that pattern that they're terrible?
No,
they are not. Dawn of the Dead's fucking amazing.
Yeah, you see,
you need to stand down with that.
I say, yeah, you haters. But see, I love that. I love 300, and then I loved Man of Steel, and then I freaking loved BVS, and then of course when the Snyder Cut came out, I'm like, this is it. This is the pinnacle for me. You give me a nightmare movie, I'll die. Literally, I'll die. So, but yeah, of course, my Mount Rushmore of directors would be. Wes Craven, it would be John Carpenter, it would be Zack Snyder, and it would be Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is a fucking great director.
He really is. He really is.
The Town is a phenomenal movie.
Such a good movie.
Gone Girl.
Yeah, I was just about to say Gone Girl. I was just about to say that movie was so good.
For you to appreciate Gone Girl means you like quality cinema, because that movie is quality.
That movie is so incredibly good. That was one of the rare occasions my wife sat down with a movie with me and was like, this is incredible. Like, it was so good.
Did she get you to watch it by telling you Ben Affleck directed it?
I actually got her to watch it because I said, this is a rom-com with Ben Affleck, but then it was not a rom-com.
It is not a rom-com, sir.
So
the end of that movie is fucked up.
But yeah, it really was. It really was. So but yeah, that's it. So that's here's what we're gonna do. We are at the 2-hour mark. Okay, so we're gonna call it here. All right, Kalai's messaging me, telling me we're running off all our subscribers. So if you guys are leaving because of the Zack Snyder love, you can just F all the way off, all of you, and I'll sit here by myself with my Batman vs Superman shirt on, and I'll talk about how great Scott Snyder is.
Well, keep the shirt on because nobody wants to see what's under it.
Dude, you should see my tattoo of Ben Affleck. Taco flavor kisses from my Ben. It was so funny is I had no idea that when Jiggly came out, and then you had Jennifer Lopez on South Park, that Ben Affleck would be a real mainstay. Have you ever seen not Good Will Hunting? What's that? Reindeer Games. You ever seen Reindeer Games?
Yes, phenomenal film.
God, that's a good movie.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Hey guys, you want us to talk about Xbox tonight? Sorry.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
We're not wasting our time on that fucking fuck show.
No, we'll get together and talk about it. The thing is, that's a whole mindset. That's a whole headspace you got to be in for that conversation, because Phil Spencer looked broken in that video.
You know what's hilarious?
Ready to be fired.
He was. He called for it. He called for it.
He even said that he should be fired. And then the fact is that this guy is such an effing clown that he didn't know what the hell's going on around him. With Microsoft, I've been a fan of Microsoft since day one. And day one, Japan's been screwing them hard.
Okay.
I'm talking about with no lube, no rubber, putting sand on the tip.
All right. So how are they screwing them when they don't make games for the audience that plays those games? Like they don't care. They don't want.
No. They keep trying to, but they never finish it. And every time, Platinum Games has screwed them over.
They put games on their console and nobody bought them.
Level 5 has screwed them over. He didn't finish up his stuff with Mistwalker Studios. He should have kept Mistwalker Studios in his back pocket and kissed that guy's ass, who was the original Final Fantasy creator up until like 11, and he made that horrible movie.
You mean the guy who made Lost Odyssey?
Yes.
Yes, one of the best RPGs of that. Actually, probably was the best RPG.
He also made Blue Dragon as well. And they should have kept him around, but they did.
I thought Level 5. I thought Toriyama and his group made that.
But that was also
Toriyama was the artist.
That was Diamatrix era, though. That was pre. I mean, don't get me wrong. Phil Spencer had a seat at the table then, but that was pre-Phil.
So many mistakes. It's not even funny. And the thing is about Phil is he gave everybody a pass. And this goes all back to Gamergate, where you're too close to IGN, you're too close to Takaku and all these other places who kiss your ass. They kiss your ass, and you basically hire a bunch of beta testers that kiss your ass, rather than having outside beta testers who tell you the truth. It's like, hey man, this shit's not ready to go. And when Nightfall or Redfall, I'll make this very quick. They have only had one hit game. They've had failure after failure after failure, and I'll make this quick. The Brinks was a failure. Was it Dead Loop or Loop Death or whatever?
Deathloop.
Yeah, Deathloop was a failure. And then Redfall's a failure, and there's another one that was also a failure, and that was in between. The only thing that ever clicked and hit for them, for Arcane Studios, was Dishonored 1 and 2, and then like that little niche one that came out that was Dishonored.
Death of the Outsider.
Yeah, Death of the Outsider. Also did all their other games have been trash. And the fact was that he gave them, what the hell was he thinking, giving them a blank check when they came over from Bethesda when they've only had one hit? Now, no,
he said straight up that they didn't even, they like just let them do their thing and left them sleeping at the wheel.
Left them alone. And the thing is, Deathloop on paper sounds really amazing. When they pitched it and before it came out, it sounded really cool. But when the game actually came out, it's like it didn't deliver on anything. It was completely different from what basically everybody was told from the trailers. Feel free to look it up. And with Redfall, I thought Redfall, to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, I thought you get to play as a vampire and you get to do all the stealth stuff, and then you get to like shoot and like you're a vampire trying to survive the night from like hunters and stuff like that. And you can either band together or go solo or do stealth and all these different things. No, you're hunting vampires. There's already a good Evil West is already a vampire game where you hunt vampires, which is DMC style. I'm okay with that. I don't like their style of game. And the thing is, there's no sneaking around. It's more or less what's the Val game, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. It's more or less like that, except you're killing vampires.
Yeah. Well, they did say, hey, we're definitely not Left 4 Dead. But they said they were more Far Cry than Left 4 Dead on the previews that they did recently. But
they're Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was going
the studio is Left 4 Dead.
The Xbox is Left 4 Dead because it looks like Phil Spencer got a friggin' beaten before that video. I highly recommend. I was going to try to give you guys an out. So before we go any farther, do you want to call it and save it for next time, or do you want to keep going?
I kind of want to call it because it is 12 o'clock for me and I should go to bed. And I want to do a decent deep dive on this.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge everybody. Okay. If you're listening to this, I tried to post the breakout video, the short version where Phil Spencer admitted defeat. And then I posted in the comments underneath it in our Discord and our Facebook group, the actual full interview, which I think is an amazing interview. And Phil Spencer is the GOAT when it comes to humanizing a CEO and saying things that very much came like they were very off script. I would imagine he's going to get an earful from PR for some of the stuff he said. But next week, we're going to have a guest. So I have to figure out how to make it work. But let's come back to this next week. Let's really dig into the Xbox conversation.
Honestly, like, I feel bad because, like, all us Sony people would talk so much shit about how, like, oh yeah, like it's all their eggs are in one basket, blah 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 blah. And I just want to say I was right. I was right the whole time. And all you motherfuckers were like, "Oh no, Joe, it's gonna succeed. You'll see, and they're gonna make great games. You know, when you buy 22 studios, not everything can be a failure."
Dude, that interview, I'm so thankful. I don't like any of the guys on that show, right? I don't have respect for any of those dudes. But they asked some serious questions and said some serious stuff in a moment where their freaking daddy was in
firmly attached to his ass, mind you.
Yes.
Did you watch the interview, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like
I watched it twice.
And honestly, I couldn't believe what he said.
Yeah,
Corey and them sent it. Corey and Andy sent it to me while I was at work. So I stopped what I was doing and I watched it, and my jaw dropped,
dude. And it was
things that he said, because I was like, he literally just put up. He went like this with the white flag, and he's like, "Listen, like, we cannot compete."
Yep.
Like, literally, and I was like, man. So this whole arms race that you tried to create, and the whole, like, trying to destroy the video game industry so you could just win this one generation, is it worth it now? Like, for what you did now, was it worth it? Because now, if I don't get games from Activision because your dumbass wanted to buy them and they cut ties with half the fucking people and lost half the developers that made all these great games, now what do you look like a fucking idiot.
Yep. So yes, that's our homework for next week. Let's come into it next week and let's jump right in. We're going to have a guest. So I think what we might end up doing is, like, I'll give him the option. I might even push him out a week. We'll see. Well, I'll talk to him, but let's come back next week. Same crew, Thomas, if you can make it,
I'll be here.
Let's do this. And let's have that conversation. I would actually, Kalai, you're our resident Xbox fan. I would like to stack the deck a little bit and get another Xbox or two in here.
I'm a huge Xbox guy, man. I actually switched over to PlayStation because the former CEO said, well, if you can't afford to be online 24/7, I guess you don't need an Xbox One.
Yeah, when John Matrix said, if you need to play offline, That's what made me switch over to PlayStation 4, and that's what made me sell more PlayStation 4s in my district than I ever did before, because I was a huge loyalist of Xbox, and I supported them like blindly. But once he said that shit, it changed me as a person, and I was like, done. It's kind of like the people who with Bud Light right now. It changed me completely, where I was done, and I wasn't going to have it anymore. Now, no, I did get an Xbox One eventually, like a couple years later, and I finally got an Xbox X Series. I sold a bunch of stuff to get that because my wife wasn't going to let me buy it. I feel that. Needless to say, I love the Xbox for different reasons. And the thing is, they have a bunch of original games I can go to on my wall right now. Remember, they were the only ones that still had Tenchu. So the last Tenchu game that was worth a damn, the Tenchu Z on the Xbox 360, was only for the 360. It wasn't on the PS3. It wasn't on any other system. It was only on the 360, and it had online capability where you can play with 4 ninjas all at once. The servers were up on that up until like 2 years ago, and they finally took their servers down. That game was old as dirt, and it was a good game. If you've never played Tenchu Z, I strongly recommend it, even though you can't play online anymore. But I love talking Xbox, and I could talk Xbox for days and talk about all the mistakes they made, all the things that they could go back to, all the old IPs they could use. What about bringing back Brute Force? Brute Force could have been a good IP if done right today. I talked to a friend today for an hour about if Gears of War would just bring in some type of stealth kind of thing where you have like a little gun or a hook where you can, like, you shoot it and then like you hook them and then you pull them in and you can either stab them or do some type of different execution move. So it would add a new flavor to Gears of War. And then
Bulletstorm? So you just want it to be Bulletstorm?
Yeah.
Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm was fucking amazing, but like Cliffy B is like the abandoner of franchises. So,
hey, I'm gonna end it with this one. Okay, a long time ago, there was a quote, a splash page in Game Informer that from Cliffy B that said, "Hey, Capcom, when you're ready to make Resident Evil scary again, give me a call." I was really excited that we might get Cliffy B and Resident Evil. Didn't happen. Resident Evil scary again. Cliffy B's out of the games, and Zack Snyder is still the greatest director of all time. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Loot Bros podcast. Thank you, Crawdaddy. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kalai. We'll be back next week, and we're going to be ready to go dig into this Phil Spencer interview. I might even rip the clips out, little pieces to put in there, because there's so much in it, good and bad, I think. And I mean, I've always been a Phil Spencer fan, and man, I'm telling you, that was such a good interview and a vulnerable interview. And man, I like him more now than I did before. And even though I think that like the stuff he was saying and doing was kind of like, dude, man, you just basically admitted defeat. But yeah, definitely check out the episode next week. We'll come back ready to rock and roll. And of course we'll talk the Snyder Cut, because you guys said don't, so I'm going to do it each and every week. Boom, BBS baby, let's go.
Execute Order 66.
That's right. Oh yeah, May the 4th be with you. Well, it's May the 5th. Cinco de Mayo, suckers. All right, guys, I'm coming in here in post to read out the backlog beatdown and the leaderboards. You probably hear a little bit of noise in the background. Let me turn that down just a bit. All right, backlog beatdown. First place, I'm styling on you, bro. 107 points. Redbeard Rick, 75 points. JT, 52. Diego, 41. Gareth, 39. Duplex, 38. Shout out Duplex. He and I have been chatting a lot about video game collecting and hunting, and I really dig it. Next up, we got Yield with 35. We got myself with 32. We got Trying Casual Games with 31. We have Alex with 31. No. Trying Casual Games with 31. We have Alex with 30. That got a little crossed up. We got CJ with 26. We got Departed with 22. We've got Sadik with 22. We got Kalai with 21. We got MZ with 21. We got Jared with 20. Dino Killer with 12, James the Nerd with 9, Zachary Ledford with 8, Jim with 7, Noah the Builder with 4, Sid with 3, and Haley Pickle with 2. Next up on the leaderboards, we're going to start with the True Trophies leaderboards. We have the Affectatious Donk with 1,116 trophies. Good God, man. Redbeard Rick with 127. That's a huge difference between the two. We got Gaz with 89, Sadik with 71. Sadik's coming in hot, man. And then we got Meesy Goats a lot with 70. So that's pretty crazy. CJ, good Lord, man. Save some spam for the rest of us. Then we have our True Achievements leaderboard. We have GDI Master Ace with 1,157 achievements. That's the most he's ever had. We have Sony Pony to You with 940, Sadik with 217, the Iron Vein with 140. There you go. Haven't seen Lucha on here in a long time. And the Alpha Seagal with 110. He's playing some Hogwarts Legacy. So very cool, very cool. So nice. And unfortunately with the Xbox, after number 7, it drops to a bunch of zeros. Whereas things are really just heating up after number 7 with the True Trophies leaderboard. So thank you guys so much for contributing to these little contests and all of this good stuff. We will be coming back here. We have extra Patreon content dropping in the month of May. We've got extra Resident Darrell videos dropping in the month of May. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. So thank you guys so much for your support. Do like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Go to Resident Darrell on YouTube if you haven't already. Leave a little subscribe over there. Leave some comments, Let's carry on some conversation over there. Thank you guys for all that you do, and we will see you next time.
Everyday battle for my soul, trying to steady to ride in a world so cold. Enemy, listen to me, do you see there is no chance in hell of destroying me? All these people are falling apart, they don't feel like they're needed, and it breaks my heart. You matter much more than you know, when I'm sorry you feel like there's nowhere to go. But running away from the things in your past may be good for a while, but happiness will not last. It's time for us to put our demons down. It's time for us to put our demons down. This complex we have can bring us all down. Everything that you built is gonna fall to the ground. The wicked people, they shall not prevail. We're in the days of Jezebel. Why do we beat ourselves down? We're above, not below, but yet we stay on the ground. We were meant to be children of the Most High God. My Lord is not a fake, my Lord is not a fraud. In order for us to see, we have to open our eyes. I will turn my back, even though they may despise me. Even though they may despise me. This complex we have can bring us all down. Everything that you built is gonna fall to the ground. The wicked people, they shall not prevail. We're in the days of Jezebel. I see you putting all the blame on yourself. Everything you touch dies, steady crying out for help. Tears fall, screaming, how can this be? Lock yourself up in a prison, you just want to break free. Another day, another heart that breaks. Just look at your hands, how they tremble and shake. Too scared to let anyone into your heart. Someone said you just take and you take. There is only so far you can run, but can never escape from the damage you've done. Walk around with your chains on display, convincing yourself that it's better this way. Control is a thing that can kill your spirit and heart. If you let it, it will. And this isn't to call people out, it is all out of love, I'm just keeping it real. This complex we have can bring us all